It's the Orioles on Masson, and on a summer Sunday, we welcome you to Camden Yards as the Rays and the O's are going to wrap up this three-game homestand, and this is the rubber match for the Orioles in this series. Welcome, everybody. For the Orioles, it is a chance to win their 10th series of the season after a tough one last night in which Tampa Bay tried to give it to them on a bases-loaded walk, and the Orioles gave it right back with a couple of defensive plays that didn't happen, and then the inability to shut down Tampa Bay in extra innings. So the Orioles will look to bounce back from that here this afternoon. We're going to have about a 5-minute delay. The rain came about 20 minutes ago. It has gone by. Tarp has come off the field, and they're just getting the field ready for play. Let's take a look, first of all, at what's going on with the Orioles starting pitcher today, Brian Mattis. Mattis is putting up some pretty incredible numbers. Monday, he got his first win of 2011, giving up the 2 runs, 7 hits, and 5 1/3. But over the last 10, going back to last year, he is 7-0 with a 1.74 ERA. That is the longest Orioles consecutive win streak with a starter since Eric Bedard did it in 2007. So he'll go and try and extend that in this ball game. Brian Mattis, of course, getting back into that starting rotation, Jim, that the Orioles needed to have him in so much.
Yeah, you know, obviously, I mean, the Orioles want to get back to the way they were in August and September when they won 34 games, 17 in each month, and he was a big part of it. 6 of those 7-game winning streak was in those months. And, you know, this is a kid that lost 8 straight last year. They didn't score for a lot of runs for him. He didn't pitch well. They're a little concerned, to be honest, about his lack of velocity, but he's got about 39 innings in when you count spring training, and then 11 innings in his 2 starts here. Only had 15 when he was rehabbing from the intercostal strain. So, you know, this is a guy that matches up very well. One of the leading hitters in the American League is out of the lineup, Matt Joyce, because Mattis is a left-hander. And just project down the road, I mean, whether it's late summer here or in 2012, wouldn't it be nice to have Britton and Mattis when you go into Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, to try to neutralize, you know, Gonzalez and some of the left-handers, Cano, people like that. And, you know, when he's on his game, he really is tough against left-handed.
One of the Orioles' problems coming into this homestand, which is going to be a successful one, more successful if they win today, was the lack of extra base hits. The third baseman, though, has made a difference in this series and put some of those numbers up. Mark Reynolds right now is on an absolute tear. 2 home runs in the ball game last night. That is part of a very big June for him with a 276 average. Remember, overall, he's trying to get to 200. On base percentage, slugging percentage way up this month, and he's had 5 home runs and 11 RBIs through the 9 games that have been played. He likes hot weather, he said, and he's proving it.
Well, he lives in Phoenix. He played for the Diamondbacks. Even though they have a roof, it's when he was going to work the last couple of years, it's about 112 degrees. So he's heated up. The weather's heated up. You know, he's got 6 home runs in the 11 games. He's played third base pretty well, and I think the Orioles are pleasantly surprised. Obviously they like him to hit harder. He's got 205 at bats. He's hitting 205, but again, they wanted power. He's got a lot more to the offense than Miguel Tejada last year, and he's played third base pretty well. So big and important part of this offense.
We'll take a look at his percentage of extra base hits during the game today, as he is now up among the league leaders in that department. One of the numbers that we have looked at over the past few seasons, we've called it the Kurt Schilling rule, because Schilling's the one who kind of pointed it out about 4 years ago. Said if you want to know where teams are going to finish in the standings, take a look at their starting rotation as projected at the start of the year and how many starts that projected rotation gets. Well, it's not working this year. Not yet, anyway. If you take a look at the teams that have had their projected starters make the most starts, you've got Seattle. They're not going to go anywhere. Texas, they may very well go somewhere. Detroit, they've got a shot at a division title. Chicago is struggling, and certainly Minnesota, with all the injuries, having one of the worst seasons they've had in a long time. For the Orioles, 48 starts by their projected starters is the fewest in the American League. So the rule, which has held true for the last few years, at least right now, Jim's not there.
Well, you're right, and I think the Orioles, if we want to talk about what's going on here in Baltimore, they're trying to get back to, again, where they were in August and September, where, you know, you can you can expect a guy to go 6 to 7 innings. We've seen that over, the last 5-6 days. Bullpen is pretty well rested, even though they went 11 innings last night. So, again, we hoped that they would be better as the season progressed. But, again, the injury to Mattis, and that's why it's so important for him to get back. You got Tillman. He was one of your starters. He's a AAA. Bergeson was one of your starters. He's a AAA. Jacobakis is going to pitch up in Toronto. So here's a young guy, not a young guy, but a guy that's been around, but getting a chance. So they're still trying to find that magic formula. But, the Tigers and, again, the White Sox, they're getting back in it because all of a sudden Cleveland, they're not playing like they did earlier in the year. It's a long season, especially in that American League Central.
And in the end, those numbers may hold up. Interesting, the manager today, Buck Showalter, talking about Zach Britton, who's going to be moved back a day in his start. Both he and Brian Mattis, they're not on pitch counts, but they are on inning counts. And for both of them, it's about 175 maybe for Mattis and probably 200 for Zach Britton is all they want them to work this year. So that means if you're going to have him pitching late into the season, you got to start spreading it out now.
Yeah, and we saw that with Arrieta last year. Buck said you can add 30 to Zach Britton's number, so 183 in the third innings. He's got about 80 as you see now. I think first of all, they didn't want him to even pitch here until maybe June to keep his free agent status in a little bit more in check, but because of injuries, he came up early and then he pitches well. So it's really a product of him doing better or having an opportunity that he wasn't going to have last year. So, I think we're going to see that. Mattis, again, only 11 innings pitched. That's not going to be a problem. But, I think what they want to do, they want to keep the innings down, but they want to stagger them so they can pitch in September and know what it's like, because down the road, you want to have meaningful games in September.
And that's about handling a staff, because once you start doing that, obviously what you're saying is the bullpen may have to pitch more innings than you really want them to, because you're going to pull a starter once in a while who otherwise you might leave in a game for an extra inning, but you're trying to save that for September. So now you got to really make sure you're managing your bullpen to be able to do that.
Well, it's a tough thing. And, of course, the Orioles are in good shape. Schulner knows what he's doing. Connors, and then you got another guy, Rick Adair, out in the bullpen. They got a pretty good handle on it. It's really up to your starters, how well they do or maybe how poorly they do.
All right, Orioles take the field. We've had about a 5-minute rain delay here as they had to wait to uncover the field. Some of the All-Stars who are going to play here in a second game as the Brooks Robinson All-Star games coming up after the Orioles game. All on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Hyundai. It's time to join the movement. Sunshine has come out. It will be a steamy afternoon if that sunshine stays out after that brief thunder shower went through. Let's take a look at our game time temperature. It's brought to you by Train. 85 degrees, virtually no wind at the moment. Humidity up there at 64%. Visit Train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. And here's the starting lineup for Joe Madden's Rays, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Damon, Zobrist, Ruggiano, Longoria, Upton, and Rodriguez. Kochman, Johnson, and Kelly Shopik will do the catching. His numbers against the O's are impressive.
And our scouting report for Brian Mattis. Well, fly me to the moon. They were playing a lot of Sinatra this morning in the elevators around the corridors here. Well, fly ball pitcher, 27 outs, 22 in the air. Radar love. Well, they're worried about his velocity. It dropped over the last 2 or 3 years, especially in his last start. But keep on changing, because the one thing he does about as well as any left-hander in baseball is to use the changeup. We'll see how effective it is today.
And the first pitch is in there for a strike, and we are underway. Brian Mattis, you see the innings, just 11 coming off the DL. A couple of walks, 6 strikeouts. Johnny Damon, he'll bloop that one back, and a foul ball. Damon has had a 2 for 9 in the series so far. The leadoff batter at 277, moved into that spot here for a little over a week now, and has done an outstanding job at it. He's hitting 258 off lefties, 284 off right-handers on the year.
Yeah, and I think it's very difficult when a guy's got 39 innings and they're been as sporadic as Brian Mattis to tell what kind of arm strength he has.
0-2 delivery to Damon. Had to muscle up a bit on that one and missed down low with it.
And again, the two teams that he did start against, Oakland and the Mariners. Mariners his first start, Oakland the other day. Not your offensive forces. They pitch better than they hit.
Damon will take that one to right field. It is way back, and goodbye home run onto Utah Street and up against the fence. And Damon has a leadoff homer. And Mattis gives up just his second home run of the season, the first one to a left-hander.
It took him about 2 months to give up an extra base hit to a lefty last year. You can see the target. I think it's a slider. It doesn't slide. It sails. He missed his spot by, Craig Tatum is about 2.5 feet from where that ball arrived, and Johnny Damon says thank you very much. He's trying to protect away, gets a ball at 84 that he can speed up the bat, and ends up putting him ahead 1-0.
So first batter up and first batter in, the designated hitter, Johnny Damon. His third home run against the Orioles this year and his 5th RBI against them. Here's Ben Zobrist. Damon, there he is talking about how he got one to hit. Zobrist, who had a magnificent night last night, one of those record evenings, triple, 3 doubles, 4 runs, second 4-hit game against the Orioles in the 2011 year. Zobrist, just a massive night, and starts right where he left off the end of the bat into right field. Zobrist has got a bloop single. So 2 hits with 2 batters.
Take a look at the defense. PA, Jones, Markakis, your outfield. Reynolds, Hardy, Adams. Ryan Adams getting a start at second base. And then Luke Scott over at first. Craig Tatum with Wieters getting the afternoon off.
And that will bring up Justin Ruggiano. Ruggiano has been moved up to the number 3 spot for this game. He's gone 3 for 7 in the series. He bunts it and fouls it back over the screen. Tampa Bay jumping on it early and trying to jump on it a little more here against the starter Brian Mattis. Ruggiano hasn't played much against the lefties. He's only had a 1 for 9 against left-handers. He has not played a lot of ball games on the season for Tampa Bay. He's getting the start in this game in left field. The 0-1 delivery to him, and the breaking ball, a good one, is in there for a strike. And Brian Mattis will have to settle it in. That run by Damon is the first run he's given up in the first inning this year. In this, his 3rd start. Runner at first is Zobrist. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that will miss inside. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. For Bryant against Tampa Bay, 5 career starts prior to this one. He's 3-1, 4.7 earned run average against them. He's only had 1 start here at Camden Yards. That was back in April of last year. Non-decisioned in that one, but a good 7 1/3 innings. Allowed 4 earned runs. And another one into right field for a base hit. Zobrist will easily go to third. The ball dies in the outfield, and a couple of dying quail after the homer, and 3 up and 3 on.
Well, a change up to Zobrist, and right here Ruggiano with 2 strikes. Let's see if he cuts his swing down. And again, he misses his target by about 8 inches. So again, not a lot of innings. I mean, this is a team that is, I mean, they don't give up. They're used to winning. We really saw that last night. I was reading the 9 players, they call it 9 equals 8, and that's something that Joe Madden, their manager, talked about back in 2008 after losing 10 straight years. That's what the Rays had done.
Their theory is hang around.
And that was 9 guys playing hard every day, and then what happens is you become one of the 8 playoffs. And so they end up winning 97 games, and we saw that last night. They're ahead 3-0, they're down 4-3, down 5-4, they end up winning the game. Yep. And it's a game that the Orioles, everybody said, oh, it's a game we should have won, except you didn't win it. Yep. You lost it, and they won it. And that's why this team has won 2 of the last 3 divisions. They're a very resilient ball club.
Runners at first and third. Evan Longoria, the cleanup batter. Longoria, the slow roller, foul. He has had a 3 for 9 in this series. Last night he got the game-winning single in the 11th. 3 for 5 ball game with a double and 3 RBIs.
He got 2 good pitches. He had a double that looked like Adam Jones did not get a good read on after a looping single in the first. Hit it over Adam Jones' head in center.
Still nobody out. 2-strike count. That'll be taken down low. The Orioles have the edge in the series, 6-5 coming into this ball game. But you don't want to get behind by much against this ball club. We'll see whether this turns into an offensive game.
Yeah, you talked about Brian Mattis. He gave up 47% of his runs, 41 of the 88 in the first 3 innings last year.
1-2 delivery on the way, and that one's going to go to left field. PA is right there. Runner tagging at third base. Zobrist. Here comes the throw to the plate. Cut off and a sac fly. So Longoria gets an RBI. That's going to be his 9th RBI against the Orioles in the 12 games played, and it is a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, he's looking to get a ball in the air. He gets one. Brian Mattis tries to get in on him, and he just fights it off into left field. I mean, that's the situational hitting. We've already seen it a couple of times here in the first.
Longoria's RBI, just his 17th of the year. Now a runner at first base and 1 away. Ruggiano, the base runner, and here is Upton. And Mattis will make the throw over to get him back. Ruggiano has not attempted a stolen base, but again, remember, he's playing in just his 12th game for Tampa Bay. Tatum only had a couple of chances, 0 for 2 in throwing out base stealers. Upton with 1 down. He was leaning and probably going as Ruggiano took a step towards second base and able to get back in time. For Tampa Bay on the season, they have stolen 56 bases, caught 23 times. They have more than twice the stolen bases that the Orioles have. Not going here. Upton is looking for his first hit in this series. He's had an 0 for 9 in the series. Unusual against the Orioles because he's a career .293 hitter against the O's.
Yeah, you just keep waiting for him to get back to where he used to be. In fact, and I'm sure they're waiting even more than I am.
He'll foul that the other way. Mattis got him to chase one down on the way.
You know, the shoulder injury about 3 years ago, hurt it right here in Baltimore. Had a great postseason, had the surgery, and he's never really quite been the same player. You'll see glimpses of incredible power. You know, he used to have a good on-base percentage. That's dropped. He can hit home runs. Doesn't hit as many. terrific defensive player with speed. Already 12 stolen bases on the year.
0-2 pitch going towards the hole. That's going to be a base hit. So 5 up, 4 hits, and all quality at bats. The other one on the out was a sacrifice fly by Longoria.
Well, it's the right pitch now, but you look, it just stays up. It's pretty much belt high in the middle of the plate, and if that ball's down a little bit, maybe a little bit away, it's probably a double play ball. But because it hangs a little bit, Mark Connor out to have a little conversation. Boy, this is Baltimore today. A team that they score 5 runs on the road, 3 at home, so they're a much better offensive team. It's hot and humid. You're trying to figure out really where you are as far as your conditioning and whatever. You come out of the bullpen, you throw for 12 or 15 minutes, you sit down for about a minute or two. If this is ever going to test your mettle as far as your conditioning, and then the other part of it, the emotional and psychological about really not having any confidence, because how do you really know? You've had such you had what, 15, 16, 17 innings in spring training, 15 rehab. It's a big test today for Mattis. He makes him a quality pitch here.
Sean Rodriguez, runners going to third on the steal. Tatum has no chance. He got caught up in thinking about the moment at the plate, and Ruggiano realized it and took off.
Well, here you go, Tampa Bay. He didn't even look at him. Frank Tatum does exactly what he's supposed to do, puts it in his pocket.
Now runners at first and third again with 1 down, and Rodriguez, he's only had 1 at bat in the series, 0 for 1, hitting .206 on the year. Rodriguez starting at second base today. Good speed with Upton at first base. There he goes. Swung on a miss, no throw. Another stolen base.
Yeah, for a left-hander, Brian Mattis does not have a good move, and at least not at this point in his career. So again, Tampa Bay, we talk about how the Orioles and Buck Showalter are prepared. They're just as prepared with great team speed.
That's going to get 2 in scoring position for Rodriguez, who's 2 for 9 off Mattis. And a ground to the third, runner coming, bobbled. Everybody's safe. A disastrous beginning to this ball game for the Orioles. That would be an error charged on Reynolds.
Yeah, that's an emotional play. You're down by 2. Instead of just taking a step back and getting the out, you take the short hop. You make it into a very, very difficult play. I mean, you take 1 step back, they're going to score a run. Well, sometimes you need to get outs in the first inning to get out of the first inning. So there's another extra out, and that's one thing that Brian Mattis doesn't need to have happen.
Fielder's choice and an error. Rodriguez will be credited with the RBI. That'll be his 11th of the year. It is a 3-0 lead, and Kochman up. Casey Kochman, who has a 4 for 10 in the series. Good numbers against left-handers, .333. A look back this time, Upton, who will take off if given a chance and forgotten about back there. Upton now has 13 stolen bases on the season with the one he got at second base. Kochman will take the pitch, and it is up high for a ball. Casey Kochman with power. Another big night, 4 for 6, 2 RBIs. His first 4-hit game since 2008 when he had 5 in a ball game. And Kochman with the good numbers against the lefties gets a shot here against Brian Mattis. There they go. Double steal. Throw to third. They both get him. 4 stolen bases in the first inning. Upton's got 2. Rodriguez gets 1 down to second. Big jumps.
Well, again, I mean, this is what speed does. It used to drive me crazy when I pitched. The only way to combat it, keep those guys off base, and obviously Brian hasn't been able to do that here in the first.
And the infield is moved in, and that is going to be fouled back. So Buck Showalter is going to try and cut a rundown at the plate with 1 away here in the first inning. Kochman up with a 2-1 count. Upton the lead runner, and Rodriguez at second. Both have good speed. Two ball, 1 strike delivery to Kochman, and he'll pop it up. Shallow center. This could be a tough play with the infield in. And made! Oh, what a catch made by Hardy. Because he was playing in, he had a long way to go. and makes a nice, difficult catch.
Yeah, they're going to go halfway at third base because they don't know if this ball is going to be caught. Because if you tag up, it probably would have been a foot race at home plate. It would have been bang, bang, but a terrific play by J.J. Hardy. It looked like maybe Adam Jones could have gotten it to it, but there was a lot of traffic in there. You had Adams at second base and Hardy and Jones, so easily it could have fallen.
Now runners at second and third with 2 down, and Johnson steps out. Our Jeep Exmo brought to you by the 2011 Jeep Compass. Change in the roster after the ball game. Elliott Johnson, who was at the plate and playing shortstop today, was added. He had been on the DL with a left knee sprain since May 25. He missed 16 games. Infielder Felipe Lopez was designated for assignment. 1-0 count on Johnson. And the pitch is down low to him. 2-0. Johnson had been hitting well prior to the injury. He was hitting 306 in the last 9 starts he had before being injured.
And he hits left-handed pitching very well.
And Mattis will fall behind on him 3-0.
I think they might have called that a strike. I think that was the late Jim Wolfe. That right arm came up. A nice little fastball down and away. Huge out right here.
2-1 delivery to Johnson, and that will be outside. It's not the late Jim Wolfe. We want to make sure his family understands that. It's Jim Wolfe is late on making the call sometimes. We don't want anyone thinking otherwise. It's the old Al throwing up in the bullpen. Here's a 3-ball, 1-strike delivery, and that's inside, and he walked him. And Brian Mattis is having an inning to forget. They're loaded, and the Rays have gone through the order. The number 9 hitter, Shopik, coming up. 30 pitches already thrown, and the bullpen's going to go to work.
So the long man, Alfredo Simon, will get up. And they asked Buck Showalter, he hadn't pitched lately. He said, well, we haven't had an opportunity. They don't want it to. They'd rather have Mattis, whatever happens, get his pitches in. But obviously they still want to win the game, so there's a kind of tough line to try to tread there.
Off-speed breaking ball is going to miss up high. And there are the 3 runners. Upton, who got a single at third. Rodriguez reached on an error and a fielder's choice. Kochman popped out, and then Johnson with a walk. And Kelly Shopik with the bases loaded. A couple of grand slams in his career. He will pop that one up to short. Glass is down. Hardy's there, and he's got it. So the inning over, but not a good one. Johnny Damon started it with a home run. 2 more were added. Orioles now 2 games below 500, trying to get back to that 500 mark. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Hardy, Markakis, and Jones. Guerrero, Scott, and Reynolds. PA, Adams, and Tatum. For Vladdy against Tampa Bay, big numbers, a lot of games.
And our scouting report, 25-year-old right-hander, well, he likes pitching here. He's 3-0, up and down, just like last year. You know, started out 5-0, 1-7, up and down season, and then the control not what he would like, as he's had a couple of games where he's had 4 and 5 walks. So again, and Buck Showalter talked about this. He said, didn't you used to warm up on the road out on the bullpen, so if you have a big inning you can actually, so he hadn't warmed up in about 15 maybe 16 minutes. We'll see if that makes a difference here in the first inning.
Here is Hardy. He hangs on to that leadoff spot, getting those leadoff homers, a couple of them. JJ's had a good series, 3 for 8, including a homer. He's got a 5-game hit streak coming in. Now Davis has been struggling mightily. We'll see whether or not the Orioles can take advantage of the problems he's been having. His velocity has been down. He's been wild in the strike zone when he gets there. He's walked 30 while striking out 35, which tells you something about his control problems. And Davis trying to get command of the fastball. That's what Joe Maddon's asked of him, and it's come hard. Hardy, first ball towards the middle, and he's got a base hit. So Hardy is on with a single, and he had a muscle that one that was in on the fist.
You know, I talked to him the other day about the lack of velocity, and he said he doesn't know why, but he actually, the velocity's come up, but right there, just a 2-seamer, 91. We saw him in 2009, complete game. He was throwing 95. He looked as good as any young pitcher I saw that year.
Our pitch track sponsored by Papa John's. Order online at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Well, the Orioles will try and have their own first inning. Here is Nick Markakis. He's got a 3-game hit streak coming in. 4 for 11, including a grand slam in this 3-game set. Got it in the opener, and he takes the pitch, and it's on the inside corner for a strike. Against Davis, Nick has gone 5 for 25 lifetime. The Orioles down 3-0. Davis wants a good quick inning after your team has scored in the first inning 3 runs for you. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That's to first and a double play.
Yeah, you go back to Tampa Bay's first inning, they hit some soft little line drives that got over the infield. This is a little cutter that's ripped right at Kochman, and boy, nice going Wade Davis. That's a quality at bat, and Markakis nothing other than the double play ball to show for it.
Big play right there.
Well, it really is, Gary. And again, you know, Buck made such a great point. We used to stay in the bullpen because if you have that big inning, you might want to get up, throw 10, 12, 15. So a chance, at least, and with 2 outs, it still exists. But boy, it'd be nice to have 1 or 2 runs on the board, get back in the game in a hurry.
There's one of them. Way back, left field, Adam Jones. Goodbye, home run. It's 3-1.
Well, Adam Jones has been flashing those 5 tools. 5-tool player. Average, home runs, defense, speed. Right here. 91 in the middle. Nothing soft about this. Smoked.
Adam gets his 3rd home run against Tampa Bay this year. That's number 9 on the season. And not much question about that one. Vladdy trying for one of his own, fouls it back. Adam now has 34 RBIs along with the 9 home runs. He's just a little bit outside of the top 10 in runs batted in the American League. And Vladdy will take the pitch down low.
And you notice how the velocity just went up. See, there's, you know, I look at Chris Tillman, and, you know, his velocity would be all over the place, all over the chart. Wade Davis has got a nice windup.
In the air to right field. Zobrist going back, warning track, and goodbye, home run! Back-to-back shots by Jones and Guerrero. And let the offenses begin.
Yep. 6 home runs, all here at Camden Yards. Ball's flying. Well, he's thrown 2 cutters. Here's the second one. Markakis lined into a double play on the first one, and Yep, you might as well be out in the middle of the Chesapeake. The ball is sailing this afternoon.
And the Orioles make it a 1-run ball game, so we've had 5 runs scored so far in the first inning, combined on 7 hits. And the Orioles doing it with 2 down. And here is Luke Scott. Scott has had a 1 for 4 so far in the series, getting a chance against the right-hander Davis, who, as we said, has been giving up a lot of runs of late. 0-1 delivery to Luke, and that will be fouled back. Orioles have had back-to-back home runs from Scott and Jones against the Red Sox. That was back on April 27. And they now have back-to-back home runs from Jones and Guerrero on June 12.
So he's now thrown about 10 home runs in his last 21 innings. That's got to be pretty alarming.
Taken up high by Scott.
Jeff Neiman, 2 years ago won 13 games. Last year injured. He's had some back problems, so he's going back for one more rehab stop. Alex Cobb's going to take his place in Detroit tomorrow.
1-2 delivery. That's the other way for a base hit. Ruggiano coming over to get it. Against the shift, Luke Scott delivers a single. All of this with 2 down.
Take a look at their defense, and there is no defense for home runs. Ruggiano, Upton, Zobras, Longoria, Johnson, Rodriguez, Casey Kochman over at first, and Kelly Shopich doing the catching. Well, he's trying to catch it. He's not receiving a lot of balls so far.
It's got to get there to him.
Yeah.
11 home runs have been surrendered now. 12 home runs surrendered by Davis, 10th most in the league.
And most of them have happened again in the last 4 starts and then into this one.
2 away here, and here's the man who's been hitting the home runs for the Orioles, Mark Reynolds. What a ball game he had last night. 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. Previous multi-homer game against San Diego back in August of 2010. And Mark's just been driving the ball, keying up on it. He gets one right here, and the Orioles are going to have a lead. Scott on first base. Reynolds a 4-game hit streak. Breaking ball that fooled him, or a good pitch that's in there for a strike.
Yeah, it hangs a little bit, but the break, I mean, a lot of times the curveball is the change of speed. It's the break, the good breaking ball, and it appeared that he was able to do that. Out of your hand doesn't read curveball. So you give up on it and then swoop down and caught the upper part of the strike zone.
Here's the 0-2 delivery to Reynolds, and a slow roller down to short. Johnson will play it over to first base and get the out. But the Orioles get a couple of runs, 3 hits. They lead 1. Jones picking up his 9th. A solo shot with 2 down. Guerrero follows him with his 6th. And that makes it a 3-2 game. Yowzer. Brian Madison, the first inning. Damon led it off with a home run. 4 stolen bases, including a double steal. no chance for Tatum doing the catching to get any of these runners. Tampa Bay started showing their speed, and Brian Mattis now, as Jim said, the answer is keep them off the base path.
Well, I mean, if they're going to run on you, but, it's kind of like a game's worth of stuff that went on. I mean, they get 3 runs, they get 4 hits, 4 stolen bases, a home run, an error, and a base on balls, all in one inning.
9 guys up.
And he only gives up 3 runs.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have given up with a couple of clutch hits or even another sacrifice fly. It could have been a lot worse. So
here's Johnny Damon back where he started this whole thing in the first inning. Gets a second at bat in the second inning. He has now reached base in a career high 37 consecutive games. That is the longest streak in the majors. And he has tied the club record that had been set by Ben Grieve in 2001, as well as the Andre Ethia Dodger record for the longest in the majors this season at 37.
And so, as he said Friday, I'm still tricking him. Is he ever?
And Mattis trying to do the same thing to him here. Fell behind 3-0, 3-ball, 1-strike count. He's batted leadoff now in 9 games. And he's on again. He's hitting in those leadoff games well over 300. So there's a leadoff walk to start the second inning. See our Luna Devils board. Our second inning brought to you by Luna. Ellsbury leading it, 21, along with Gonzalez, 2 of the Red Sox. Ben Zobrist right behind them with Carlos Quentin, Alex Gordon, and Michael Young. Call today for the Luna Double. Get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA.
Yeah, and the way that Zobrist got the doubles last night, I mean, one down the left field line, one down the right field, back 2 down the right field line, and then one the left center. Pretty impressive evening. Or I guess actually it's the other double was a triple because he hustled so much. Most guys would have been at second. So a triple and 3 doubles all over the ballpark.
Ben Zobrist hitting .410 against the Orioles this year with 1 home run and a couple of RBIs. Switch hitter, runner goes. They are just running on movement. Throw is there and got him. Johnny Damon is thrown out. He thought he had gotten in, and Tatum gets his first of the year.
It's a real high tag. And here comes Joe Madden to argue it. One of those throws, it was a strong throw. It's up a little bit. So, again, if you're J.J. Hardy, you got to drop it, and they think he's safe. Perfect pitch. So, again, not a big lead, and it's a breaking ball. It takes a little bit longer, so he's safe. I mean, his foot's in there. Normally you just try to drop the glove. Right here, watch him drop the glove. Ryan Adams.
Thing is, though, did he hit his foot?
Well, it seems
had he blocked right here? Did he block the bag?
I don't think so. The ball does not beat him. Well, here we go. Yeah, look, Joe Madden had every right to. He wanted to make it 5 stolen bases. He's going to kind of walk back. He got out there pretty quickly. It's a hot day, hot and humid. He usually rides his bike.
Go back slowly. The umpires have to wait a little. That's just a little salt. Here is Ben Zobrist now with nobody on and 1 away. And the pitch will be taken for a ball, and it is 2-0.
But it's an out.
It's an out. There you go.
Brian Mattis needs those.
Here's the 2-0 delivery. What Zobrist did last night with 4 extra base hits, 4 runs scored. He's only the second player in Rays history to do that. Thomas Perez did it at Yankee Stadium back in 2006 as a member of Tampa Bay. And the pitch is taken for a strike. There have been very few who've had 4 hits, all for extra bases, with a triple and 4 runs scored in the history of baseball. Last one to do it was Roger Cedeno before last night. That was back in 01. And he draws the walk here. So he has walked the first 2 batters in the inning and now has 3 walks in the game. Let's take a look at our Maryland Lottery double play contestant of the game, Rudy Gagola from Baltimore. For every double play the Orioles turn, you win $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery. See how you can turn double plays into cash and enter for a chance to win yourself. Go to mdlottery.com/double play.
Yeah, not a lot of arm strength. 84 miles on that last fastball. And Simone up again. And Again, you're one pitch away from getting out of this inning, and maybe you could get some rhythm. We saw in spring training they were trying to get Brian Mattis. As you look at Simone, who's got pretty good stuff, but they were trying to get him just to turn a little bit more and get the rhythm of maybe get a little bit more behind your pitches.
Ruggiano takes it away, and if this start stays as it's going, the increased questions will come about, is Brian Mattis all right?
Yeah.
They have to. I mean, he clearly does not have a fastball that he can get by the hitters, so he's trying to go with a changeup and breaking ball and spot the fastball.
And he's not doing it. And a lot of that's probably inactivity.
1-1 strike count. Runner at first. Almost threw that one away as Scott comes off the bag to get it.
And you're trying to win the game. So Buck Showalter, while he'd like to get his pitches in, he's got a guy that's got starter stuff warming up now. I mean, this game's still very much in hand. You're trying to get back closer to 500.
1 strike delivery on the way. Hit hard into left field. That's going to be a base hit.
See, and if you're on the bench and you're Mark Connor, you're going, just what you said, there's just no way you can get behind hitters, stay in the middle of the plate, unless you get lucky and get major league hitters out. And that's what they're looking at.
Yeah, it's close to the end here. Brian Mattis is going to have to get a double play ground ball to get out of the inning right now, or pop out, strike out, something, but a couple more hits, maybe even one. And I found that when I hurt my arm, and when you try to throw harder, you usually don't. Mike Flanagan, we used to always talk about it on the bench, try easier. And it's hard to do that when they're stealing bases and centering every ball you throw up there. And here's Longoria. Longoria sac fly and an RBI his first time up. He is 4 for 10. Lifetime off Brian Mattis. He has not done well against the lefties so far. Not a lot of at bats. He's 4 for 25 against left-handers. That's a 160 average with 1 home run. Runners off first and second base. Pitch in the dirt. Tatum will block it and hold the base runners, and 1-1 on Longoria.
So this is a changeup he finishes. The first one floated in at 80 and it was belt high. Longoria just took that one. So not a lot of depth, not a lot of finish to his changeup. Well, hopefully that'll change in the next couple innings.
Zobrist at second base. Ruggiano on at first. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Longoria will take it up high.
And when you overthrow to get to 87, it's hard to really spot the ball where you'd like to. Again, one of our keys, Fly Me to the Moon, a Sinatra song about, again, the first 27 outs of the year, all in 22 of them in the air.
Brian Mattis, his 43rd major league start today, only his 3rd of the season. 2-1 delivery, and that pitch is going to hang up high, and you can see Brian's really unhappy with himself as he looks skyward after that one.
Well, that ball just slipped out of his hand. And you can see not really getting over that front side. And again, rhythm's such an important part of pitching and being able to find your release point, and certainly it's been a struggle this afternoon so far.
3-1 strike delivery. Longoria waiting on it. Wanted it, fouled it off his foot instead.
Okay, there's a couple of extra miles per hour. When he's at his best, he could bring the ball in, stay out of the middle of the plate. Now he doesn't do it like David Price, who was the #1 pick, at 96, 97, but he can pitch to both sides of the plate. He's got a changeup that's going to get you out in front, and then a curveball and a slider. But right now he's just trying to feel for quality pitches. But again, you're only one away from getting out of the inning if you can get a ground ball.
He's coming off the 5 1/3 innings that he pitched against Oakland with the 2 runs on 7 hits over 5 1/3. He threw 89 pitches. Orioles keeping that count down, and it's already up to 51 here in the 2nd inning. 3-2 strike count, 1 down, runners not going, and he walked him, and the bases are loaded. And that is the 4th walk of the game, and that's it for Brian Mattis. 3 of those walks coming in the inning, and just a very, very tough start. So as Buck Showalter was saying before the game, he was asked why Simone had not been in recently. Says, look, every game you ask yourself, we can have one of those where a pitcher gets hurt on the first pitch or he stays in for an inning plus, then what are you going to do? He said Simone's the answer, and it is the answer today. A very disappointing day. The shortest start of his career, barring one where he had an injury that took him out of a game in the first inning. Only an inning in the third, and he's responsible for the 3 on.
So Alfredo Simon comes on, and this homestand did pitch in wrong relief. A couple of hits, an earned run on a home run, 3 strikeouts, a base on balls. So obviously a very precarious situation for him with the bases loaded. But again, the ability, he's got 4 pitches. He throws usually 92 to 95. He's got a good split, curveball, and slider.
So Alfredo Simon coming on to hold the fort here. His longest outing of the year, 3 2/3 innings against Seattle on May 30, and asked to do the middle of the ball game. The bases are loaded, only 1 away, 3-2 ball game. The Rays lead it. We're only in the second inning. And in the air to left field by Upton. PA going back. Warning track, and he's got it. Tagging up is Zobrist. He will score. Throw to third, not in time, as Ruggiano will move up. Upton will get a sac fly, and it is a 4-2 game.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time. Almost had grand slam written over it. But it hung up there just enough. So again, right here, you will trade maybe a run with the bases loaded, only 1 out for an out. And that's what he gets, and he threw it over.
Runners now at first and third base with 2 down. And Sean Rodriguez, who reached on an error his first time up, was credited, however, with an RBI. 1 run in here in the inning on that Upton fly ball. Longoria, the runner at first base. Where they're running, you wonder whether or not he will take off. He has not been 100% healthy, though. He's only got 1 stolen base.
Yeah, stole 15 out of 21 year, but I don't think he's going to be running. No, it's not a bad play, because if you're Craig Tatum, you got to be careful about the runner at third.
Simon will get the pitch in right there, and a 1-ball-1-strike count on Rodriguez. Rodriguez hitting at just .205 on the year. Does have a couple of home runs and 11 RBIs.
Yeah, 1 for his last 20, so it's been a little bit of a struggle.
1-ball-1-strike out on the second baseman. Ruggiano third, Longoria first towards second base. Andino is playing there. He'll go to the bag himself and get the out. Good job by Alfredo Simon. Only 1 run in, and it is a 4-2 ball game. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Barry Thorne, Jim Palmer on what's now a sunny day. Lots of high clouds around after a 6-minute delay because of a thunderstorm that went through. And let me get Ryan Adams in the ball game at second base. And Dino's probably sitting back in the clubhouse going, boy, I made a good play on that. And I was back here.
That's my fault. I thought he was hitting 8th.
That's all right.
Got a late lineup. I trusted those radio guys. No, I went in there to get the lineups, and I just was putting initials. Well, Adams,
I understand.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
No problem.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure fans know he knows how to second base now. And a strike taken by PA.
As long as he knows.
Yeah,
because he's on deck.
PA 4 for 15 lifetime off Davis. One of the reasons he's in this game is that he's faced Wade Davis a good deal of the time, but Showalter said he's had some success against him. I need to get some playing time and at-bats in for him, so this looked like a good day to do it. What a start to this game, though. We've already got 6 runs on the board, 9 hits, and we're in the bottom of the second inning.
Well, they get him 4.83 a game. That's what the average is for Wade Davis. They've already almost at that point.
3 home runs in 2 innings combined. Jones and Guerrero for the Orioles. Damon for Tampa Bay. And the 0-2 delivery by Davis. That'll be ripped into the seats.
So anybody that thinks this is a good pitcher's park, all we have to do is be in town this week, especially the last couple of nights.
Watch it fly.
Oh, yeah.
For Davis, this is his 5th career start in this ballpark, and he's 3-0 with a 2.67 ERA here at Camden Yards. He has a 4-3 record lifetime against the Orioles. So Brian Mattis will watch and hope the ball club can come back and get him off the hook here in this ball game. More importantly, of course, he wants the ball club to win. PA will take that one towards left center field. Upton coming over, and look out. Ball is caught. Upton and Ruggiano. Ruggiano reached in and actually made the catch.
Yeah, they're both there. Ball tailing away, but you usually defer to the center fielder. But again, Ruggiano can play all over, and I got it is Ruggiano. Maybe you have to. I got it in Italian.
He took it right out of his glove.
Yeah.
Upton had the glove right there, and Ruggiano put his glove in Upton's glove and pulled it out. Here's Ryan Adams. He's playing at second base. He'll take the pitch down low for a ball. Ryan's had only 15 at bats. This is his 7th game for the Orioles. But Showalter trying to get him some playing time as well. 1-0 delivery will be taken up high. Wade Davis went 12-10 last year with a 4.07 ERA. It's jumped up almost to run a ball game this year. He's only 25 years old. Left-handers hit .292 off him. Right-handers .265. And swung on and missed.
Yeah, now all of a sudden the velocity going up. It kind of a strange year last year after coming up the end of 2009. Started out 3-1, 2-8, and then 7-1. So it's a roller coaster ride. But the one constant, he's got a good arm, he's got a good delivery, and he's got 4 pitches.
2-1 delivery, and that's a strike. And the roller coaster has continued into this year. He lost his first 2 starts, including one against Baltimore in the opening series against Tampa Bay. Then he went on and won 4 in a row, and now he has lost 3 of the last 6. 0-3 and 3-0 decisions. And the pitch is taken outside. Tampa Bay has lost all 5 of the starts that he has made after he got done winning some ball games.
But the velocity a lot better than it was when the Orioles ended up beating him down in Tampa Bay, and that was on the 14th of May. I mean, I don't know if he got above 91.
3-2, and he'll get the strikeout there. So Adams is retired, 2 down. Take a look at the Orioles' numbers. They've improved their road marks dramatically in this homestand. Now 20-17 at home, 5 under on the road. Their average much better at home. Runs per game better at home, not a lot, but better. ERA actually has been better on the road, and the home runs allowed, 41 of them here at Camden Yards, only 29 on the road.
And you would think that record would be a little closer to 500 on the road. Probably some 1-run defeats and, or, well, yeah, 1-run defeats.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back up to Seattle, 2-0 lead into the bottom of the 8th. Smoke hits a 3-run home run. You go, probably should have won that game, but you didn't.
Nope, had a few of those in the road games. 2-0 delivery, and that will be fouled off. Tatum batting 9th. He's only had one at bat in this series and has an 0 for 1. Orioles with a day off tomorrow, and then we'll be heading up to Toronto with a shuffled rotation as Jakubowskis is going to make the start in game 1, and then Britton will start either game 2 or 3, not clear yet, and Jeremy Guthrie is scheduled to start in the other. And we'll see. Carlos Villanueva, Ricky Romero, and Brandon Morrow scheduled to start for Toronto, with the left-hander Romero in the middle of the 3 games. Fouled off by Tatum, 2-ball, 2-strike count. Toronto getting annihilated last night, and they're getting annihilated again today by the Boston Red Sox, who are on a real tear.
Yeah, well, Pedroia was supposed to have a knee problem. He found out it was a bone bruise. He was 6 for 9 in the first 2 games.
That'll be fouled away. Red Sox have jumped on him for a 9-1 lead in the 5th inning in the ball game today.
Yeah, they battered Brandon Morrow around. John Farrow was right. Listening to one of his interviews. He said, we were just never in the game.
16-4, the victory yesterday by Boston.
Well, they will go to Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is ready for him, at least pitching wise. When you got Shields, Hellickson, and then Price, that'll be a nice little 3-game series down in Tampa Bay.
The thing that's bothering Tampa Bay is they've got to go to Detroit for 1 game tomorrow night. They couldn't even make it a day game.
Well, but why would they? Why would baseball do that?
I don't know. It's a makeup game, and it's going to be played tomorrow night, and then they've got to go home and play Tuesday night against the Red Sox. They're going to have Alex Cobb making the start against Phil Koch in the ball game. So makeup game against Detroit tomorrow night. And they don't stay in the city. They stay at Bloomfield, one of the hotels where some of the ball clubs stay, which is a pretty good ride, which is another thing they're not going to need tomorrow. 2-2 delivery, and that is swung on and missed, and Tatum goes down, so Davis gets a couple of strikeouts and retires the side in order. We have completed 2, believe it or not. 4-2 Rays. Don't forget, when you come to Camden Yards, kids have a lot to do here along with watching the ball game. There is the Kids Corner. Great interactive area for the families. A climb, play area, batting cage, pitching station. There are murals there with fun team facts on it for you, flat TV screens and more. And you get kids' favorite, the life-size bobbleheads of the Oriole bird. Even a moon bounce and a floating T-ball area. It's just great for the kids. So when you come, remember that. It's just inside Gate C on the first base side. Hi! Hey guys, what's up? Looking good. Got those caps on. DAP day here at the ballpark. Got their DAP caps.
Nice looking hats.
They are, aren't they? Okay, sit down. They were on cue. Hits the bag. That is a Casey Kochman double as he heads to second base. And for all 3 innings now, Tampa Bay's had the leadoff man on.
Well, they are very, very aggressive. We told you they're averaging 3 runs at home, 5 on the road. That's right up there with the big boys. And this is just a ball hit very sharply. Looked like maybe a little splitter. And then you can't field it if it hits the bag and hops over your head. And then for 4 hits last night, had a chance to drive in a run, but popped up with a runner at third. So back on track with the double down in the right field corner.
So Simone now with a runner in scoring position. Reynolds moves in. Elliott Johnson drew a walk his first time up. And Johnson certainly not bunting there. Takes the big cut for strike 1.
Well, he'll be trying to do what Matt Joyce did on a couple of occasions last night. It led to 2 of the 7 runs. Hit the ball to the right side.
Johnson just coming back off the DL after the game last night, so it's his first game back. His 29th game of the year. Switch hitter, 346 right, and only 200 from this side of the plate. But he has had a couple of home runs from this side. 0-2 count on him. 6 hits now on the board for the Rays.
And of course, Simone can be pretty tough because he's got above average stuff.
He gets the ground ball, but that's a quality at bat. Productive as it moves the runner up. Kochman to third and 1 away.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what Alfredo had in mind right there. Not a very good 0-2 pitch. It allows him to hit the ball to the right side.
And that will bring up Kelly Shopick. Shopick, the number 9 hitter, popped out his first time up. So a lineup that was built to face the left-hander, Brian Mattis, now facing the right-hander. And not that a lot of changes would have been made, but there's not much Joe Madden can do. When you get the pitching change early in a ball game, you can't use your bench.
Well, you were probably going to rest John Jaso anyway, and it's not the ideal matchup. I mean, Shoppich hitting 0.92 against right-handed pitching, but you got to rest your catcher, especially with this weather.
That's why Wieters is out, even though he's got pretty good numbers against Wade Davis. Runner at third. Infield's going to try and cut this run off. Good pitch by Simone. Simone, of course, with that great splitter, which can get ground balls. Runner at third base, Kochman, not a speedster, not slow, but he's not one of the speedsters.
He's slow.
He's slow. I like him though, and it's Sunday.
Well, I like him anyway. I was talking about last night. Ever since I saw him with the Angels, looks like he was going to turn out to be a pretty good player.
That won't matter.
Yep.
Well, he's staying. Wow. Well, how about that? He did not go, and Tatum was sure he was going to, and Tatum was just kind of going over to pick the ball up.
He's slow. It's a tough read right here. And again, just trying to back. And the ball keeps spinning. I mean, you can see it's downhill because of the drainage right to the wall. So there's a break for the Orioles. They're already trailed by 2.
Not happy about that. Not happy about that at all.
But it's over.
And Shopping with a 2-1. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Well, there's a run they could have had. We'll see if it plays into the ball game. It does play into the game, no matter what. 2-2.
Well, you have about 4 or 5 other guys in your lineup that would have scored on that ball, and I think Joe understands that.
2-2 count. Infield stays in. Simone's delivery, that is blocked. Tatum got that one. It ran up his arm a little bit, but he kept it close enough so the runner can't go anywhere.
A couple of backhand attempts. Again, balls well outside, breaking ball. Normally you try to slide out and center that ball, but both times he backhands them and able to keep them somewhere close to home plate, or close enough. Again, not a lot of speed. This time looked like Casey Kochman got a little bit better secondary lead.
Infield creeps in even a little bit more now as Ryan Adams, the second base, took a couple of steps closer. Here's a 3-2 delivery to him and walked him.
Around the plate. I think Alfredo thought maybe it nipped the inside corner. Couldn't quite get on top of it, so he can't get it across, but awfully close.
And our pitch track, sponsored by Verizon 4G LTE, rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world.
So they already have 5 base on balls.
Orioles have committed an error, and they have 6 hits. And we're only in the third inning.
And 4 stolen bases. Really 5.
Yeah.
Damon got called on a very questionable play, so 4 out of 5 in the stolen base category.
Here is Damon. Reynolds will stay in at third. Everybody else pretty much back. Johnny Damon, his 8th home run of the year, leading off the ball game. 27th career leadoff homer. And then he drew a walk in the second inning. He's checking down at third base. Tom Foley talking to Kochman, the lead runner. Here's the 0-1 delivery and lash towards left and foul. 4-2 lead with a run in the second after 3 were scored in the first. And now trying to add to it. Talking about Damon as a leadoff batter in the last 9 games. He's picked up 12 hits and 36 at bats as a leadoff batter. He has done that off and on throughout his career, bat in the leadoff spot. 0-2 delivery, that's to first. That's going to be Adams, and Simone not in time. Infield hit. Kochman will score. Damon picks up the single and an RBI, and it's 5-2.
Boy, that's a seeing an ire. You know, again, you got Luke Scott over there, Derek Lee on bereavement league. His grandfather passed away, so holding him on. And you know, Lee's bigger, much more adept, and nice play by Ryan Adams. And you know, Damon, of course, getting down the line. Simone does what he's supposed to do. Just a difficult play with a guy that has pretty good speed.
2 RBIs for Damon in the ball game and 33 on the year. Now here is Ben Zobrist. Zobrist first and second and 1 down. And inside, Tatum blocked it. Runner goes. Throw to third base. And out at third. Reynolds hanging on the slide right into his glove. And another out recorded on the base paths.
Well, we talked about being slow. You know, again, I mean, it's a ball in the dirt. It gets blocked. And right here, if you have good speed, and his throw's high. And he still doesn't beat it.
Did he ever get to the bag on that slide?
I think he might have been a little short. So there's your high throw. And yep, well, he eventually got there.
A little
short.
Good pop-up slide, only there was no base. Now a runner at second base. Damon goes down there on the wild pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike count. And Zobrist, who's single walk, scored 2 runs already, will take it. And a 2 ball, 1 strike count. Ball game with offense written all over the first 3 innings already. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Zobrist swings through it, evens it up at 2-2. For Ben Zobrist, his big season against the Orioles, part of a .280 career average that he has against the O's. He has always been a tough out for O's pitchers. And a swing and a miss. Throttled back a bit and got him. But another run will be added on a couple of hits with a base runner left on, and it is now 5-2. let's take a look at our PNC minor league report, brought to you by PNC for the achiever in you. Pat Egan at Norfolk, right-handed pitcher, working in relief this season at Norfolk with a 1.1 mark and a 3.24 ERA. Good ground ball to fly ball ratio. 33 innings worked and a 12-19 walk to strikeout ratio. Pat Egan on our PNC minor league report. It is a hot day. Thunderstorm went through just before the start of the game. 6-minute delay. Sun came out. So one of those days after the thunderstorm where it doesn't cool down, it heats up. The humidity going up. And the pitch is in there for a strike. As we go to the bottom of the third inning, Hardy at the top of the order. He had a single his first time up. Orioles with a 5-3 homestand. Could make it 6-3 with a victory here today. They've averaged 4.5 runs a ball game in the homestand. The starters have gone on with some real good starts to go 5-2. Starters have been involved in all the decisions. The bullpen's been outstanding in all but one game and holding runners down.
Yeah, last night J.J. Hardy 1 for 6, but a lot of times that doesn't tell you the whole story. Ruggiano robbed him of a home run. Brignac 2-run single up the middle. He robbed him with another one and then finally got a base hit.
Off the end of the bat, Rodriguez. Hardy is retired. Make your plans now to enjoy the season's first fireworks nights coming up Friday, June 24. The Orioles will be taking on the Cincinnati Reds at 7:05. Gather up family and friends and make it a night. For tickets, call the Orioles at 888-848-BURR to go to Orioles.com. First fireworks, June 24 against the Reds. As interleague play will be picked up again. Orioles will be going on the road, Toronto and then Washington in D.C., then on to Pittsburgh. Then they've got Cincinnati, the Cardinals at home, and Atlanta on the road.
Atlanta, Texas on the road, and then the Red Sox. Pretty good teams. Hopefully your pitching will be intact. No.
If you haven't voted on the All-Star game yet, make sure to go online, Orioles.com, MLB.com, cast your ballot. That one in the air to left center field, not deep, and a sliding catch. Ruggiano came in to get it. Elliott Johnson, good play as he got out of the way to give Ruggiano room to run.
Yeah, again, not playing that deep. Maybe a little drop step and then comes in to the rescue.
So Wade Davis, couple of quick outs. Davis has now retired 6 in a row. That'll bring up Adam Jones. Solo home run in the first. 3 home runs now in his last 10 ball games as he and Vladimir Guerrero had the back-to-back homers. Jones hitting .351 in June and 3 homers so far this month.
Well, this is a totally different pitcher that went out for the mound. Again, Wade Davis warmed up, came in, sat on the dugout. His team has a long inning. He went out there. His stuff's a lot more crisp here in the third inning. It is a luxury on the road as a visitor. You don't have to come in. You can stay out there, take extra pitches.
Very few, if any, do it in the major leagues anymore. And we were talking with Buck about that the other day. He just doesn't understand why pitchers don't want to stay out there if you're home and have a chance to warm up when you have a long inning. 1-1. That is going to be swung on and foul tipped into the mitt, and it goes to 1-2.
Well, not to take anything away from either Adam, who homered, or Guerrero. It's just you want to be at the top of your game, especially when they have a 3-run inning, and he just didn't have a whole lot of velocity or command.
Adam will foul that one back and hold the count at 1-2 strikes. For Adam now, he has had 8 of his 9 home runs here at Camden Yards. This has been his ballpark. .313 average here, .273 on the road. So as you would expect with the tools that he has at the plate in a hitter's ballpark here at Camden Yards, he's taking advantage of it. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery, and fouls it off. Upton continues to play a relatively shallow center field.
I just don't understand that. I know that he's one of those gifted center fielders that can go back with the best of them. We saw that on Friday night with Adam Jones hitting one over his head. You thought Willie Mays was playing center field, but the way the ball's carrying with a 3-run lead, you can play a couple of steps back and still get to the other balls.
1-2 is outside, scooped by Shopik.
You know, this park is so small that you run out of room. And where do you want a ball? You want a ball in front of you now or one over your head? I would think the answer would be in front of me.
Much easier to catch.
Yep.
No matter how good you are.
Well, it's anything over your head's extra bases. Runners in scoring position.
2-2 delivery. Jones battling here as he fouls that one back. Wade Davis is up to 52 pitches thrown. And we're in the third inning. So barring some really quick innings, both of these bullpens are going to get a workout here today. With Brian Mattis going only an inning and a third, 4 runs, 4 hits, 4 walks, and no strikeouts. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Jones rips it to the gap. There's a great at-bat. That's going to go all the way to the wall. It'll be chased down by Zobrist. He's thinking 3. He's going for 2. But he made him throw. Then it gets away.
And
it goes in the stands. And that's why you do it. And he's coming home. He's going to come all the way home on this. And that is smart baseball by Adam Jones. He made him think he was thinking 3, so they made the throw, and it goes in the stands.
Well, now they're going to come out, and Longoria is trying to work on the third base umpire, Tim Welke. But it's a 2-base throwing area. That's where. So again, even if you're going back, you're already at second. Doesn't matter where you are, and Joe knows the rules. Longoria says, well, he wasn't coming to third. Watch this. He's going to come around right here. He realizes, I don't want to get thrown out. Now I'm going back, but you already have that bag. So when you overthrow from the outfield, it's 2 bases, third and home. 5-3.
No question. Well, the Orioles take advantage of the error. Boy, this game's got all kinds of stuff going on in it. Here's Vladimir Guerrero.
Well, this is the game for everybody. Everything, and we're only in the third inning.
Guerrero had the home run his first time up. This will be played by Elliott Johnson over to first base. But a gift run, if you will, on the error. It's unearned, and it makes it a 5-3 ball game. Tires game flow sponsored by Hankook Tires. Be one with it. Hankook Tires. There is no game flow. This thing's all over the place. He had Damon lead it off with a home run. First batter. 3 runs in the first inning off Brian Mattis. Another in the second. He came out of the game early. Simone on pitching. The other side, Wade Davis. Back-to-back home runs. Jones and Guerrero. And then the unearned run scoring in the third inning on Adam Jones. Good effort that created a throw that went into the seats, and we've got a 5-3 game going to the 4th inning. Justin Ruggiano. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Ruggiano has a couple of singles and a run scored, batting third. He has picked up a stolen base. That one, right field. Marquez getting over there. And
watch yourself.
Almost.
Yep.
Ran out of room.
Yeah, you don't want them to run through the wall. Well, that's a minor league thing where they have the wooden walls. This is padded. Great effort here. Boom.
Wasn't high enough to circle, so he had to go directly towards the wall. Now Ruggiano will come back with a 2-strike count.
That's one of those plays. If this was cinder, you kind of maybe you'll see a lot of the outfielders will do a slide and protect themselves from running in. It also gives you a better chance of maybe catching the ball.
Which takes us back to the Adam Jones recommendation. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Adam says, let's change this warning track from foul line to foul line. Put in dirt. Take out this rubber padded stuff, because he says, we're not going to slide on this. You get hurt. You can have the rubber stuff going up and down to the foul lines, but in the outfield, make it dirt. Swung on and missed. Simone will get a strikeout. That's his second.
A nice little breaking ball. And again, Alfredo Simone, he's got enough stuff to be a starter. Big curveball. He kind of unveiled it when we were out on the West Coast. And there you go. Change speeds. Throws a lot of strikes. And again, he can throw. And he's thrown some 94, 95 mile per hour fastballs.
Evan Longoria has drawn a walk and is a sacrifice fly. Simone's first appearance against Tampa Bay this year. His 6th lifetime. Pretty good average. 216 he's held the Rays to in the games he's appeared against them. Longoria will hit a rainmaker out towards second base. Shortstop Hardy wants it and will put it away. 2 down. The Cardinals are going to make their first ever visit to Orioles Park at Camden Yards. A 3-game set Tuesday, June 28, Thursday, June 30. So don't miss a pitch of this intriguing interleague matchup. Get your tickets in advance and save 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com. The Cardinals here for the first time ever. So Tony La Russa comes to town. 5,000
games. I was reading it. 5,000 games. And I go, okay, well, who's in first place? Connie Mack, 7,700. Managed 53 years.
Imagine that.
And didn't have gray hair.
And didn't go crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. He didn't do it.
Cardinals have a half-game lead over Milwaukee. They're in a battle there with the Reds and Milwaukee and the Cardinals. PA gets it. Fortunately got turned around, is up to the line. That one to left field, and Simone has a 1-2-3 inning. Ball was stung, but right into the glove. And time now for our AT&T Mobility Trivia Fact. Did you know? On this day, 2004, Barry Bonds and Rafael Palmeiro both homered at Camden Yards. And the rest of the story, they joined Mays and Banks And Mays and Aaron is the only pairs of 500 club members to hit a home run in the same game. It's unusual. It's not unusual.
I would have thought that the late Harmon Killebrew and maybe Frank Robinson would have done that.
Yeah.
You know, because they both hit so many home runs.
All-stars don't tend to play against one another. The Hall of Famers don't tend to play against one another very often. Pitching matchups, hitting matchups. Luke Scott, ground ball with a shift on. Scott has singled. He'll be joined by Reynolds and PA in the inning as we are in the bottom of the fourth.
You mentioned the All-Star game coming up. I guess they're going to be doing a special on that 71 All-Star game. There were 21 Hall of Famers that played in that game, and I just remember I pitched second in that game. Vita Blue started it, but everybody hit a home run. He's in the Hall of Fame in that game. You know,
Hall of Fame, the All-Star game has become a celebration, obviously. No matter what anybody wants to say, it's an exhibition game. And it's all about the hoopla around it that makes the night. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the shortstop over to get it, Elliot Johnson. And there's one away. This State in Baseball History brought to you by Verizon Fios. Switch to Fios and network ahead. To learn more, visit Verizon.com/getFios. This State, 1939, the Hall of Fame opened in Cooperstown. And in 1939, Lou Gehrig, who would be there, played his final game. It was an exhibition game against the Kansas City Blues, a couple of at-bats, and he had to come out. And in 2001, Gary Sheffield with the Dodgers became the first player in history to win 3 1-0 games in a season with a solo home run.
On his way to about, 506, something like that. Over 500 home runs for Gary Sheffield.
Now there's a guy who disappeared. I'm always interested in Major League players who were very popular during their playing days, very successful, to drop off the face of the earth. Here's the 1-0 delivery to Mark Reynolds. John Tudor's my favorite. John Tudor was one of the outstanding pitchers and a great left-hander.
Well, yeah, the middle 80s pitching for the Cardinals. He's 21-5.
He was sensational.
Well, he lives up in outside of Boston.
Never, ever seen him.
He was one of those guys that when you would ask him a question, like Earl Weaver used to give you a grade, A, B, C, or D, and he might have flunked F. But he would go, "What a silly question. I'm not answering that."
Yeah. Hoping you would never ask him another one.
Well, that was the idea.
That was his great hope. Here's the 3-0 delivery to Mark Reynolds. He'll take it for a strike. Carl Yastrzemski, of course, the great Boston Hall of Famer, also one of the, he's not a recluse, but he just doesn't like to be out in the public. So he rarely, if ever, makes public appearances. He gets back to Boston once in a while for very special dates. 3-1 pitch on the way. And Reynolds is on with a walk, something Mark has continued to do well. Wade Davis, that's the first one. Following the game here, the Orioles game, the Brooks Robinson High School All-Star game with the best from throughout Maryland, North against the South, is going to be played here. Those who have participated at the Major League level, including Mark Teixeira in the past, there are some of the players who are on hand. They're waiting to get their game in. Good story in the Sun today about Brooksy, who's not going to be able to be here, and only the second time in the history of the game that Brooks is not going to be present for health purposes. But Brooks sent along a note for everybody to know that he's feeling better, that it's all right. The fact he isn't here doesn't mean anything, except he's just not feeling up to coming for the game today, but that he's doing well. That's great to hear.
Yeah, we wish well. I talked to him probably about 10 days ago, so recovering. And well, you just, again, you're blessed to be in this game, but then when you have teammates that not only are as great as he was on the field, but
the roller, Davis only play at first, gets it,
and made it pretty easy. Well, the good news is at least you get somebody in scoring position. We got everybody here. I look down there. I mean, Brian Roberts is here today. And we got all kinds of T-shirts. Not in Brian's not here, but
a lot of shirts on.
Yeah, I was seeing some other guys.
2 down, runner on at second base. This ball game, you just have a sense, has got a long way to go before the 27th out is recorded. The way this game has gone, it's 5-3. Adams, strikeout victim, his first time up. Bryant against Wade Davis. 5-7-1 for the Rays, 3-5-1 for the O's. Orioles do have an unearned run up on the board, and the timeout asked for by Adams, a strikeout victim in his only at bat.
Yeah, he worked himself into a pretty good hitting count. Davis fell behind 2-0, and then eventually 93-mile-per-hour low fastball that he swung through.
Reynolds with 2 down will take off on contact from second.
Oh,
got him.
Yep.
Hit
There's a break. Yep. It's all about pitch count and getting guys on, and you never know what's going to happen. A little high heat grazes the uniform.
That'll be the 4th batter hit by Davis on the year. Well, the Orioles increase their chances. Runners at first and second. And Tatum coming to the plate. Greg Tatum doing the catching. And batting in the 9 spot. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. Tatum in just his 5th game. Only 10 at bats for him. And he will take that one for a strike. Wade Davis trying to work his way out of a bit of a jam here. The Orioles have left only 1 on base. That was in the 1st inning. 6 have already been left on by the Rays. They were retired in order in the 4th inning for the first time. 0-1 count, 2 down. And he'll foul that one back.
So a slider curveball trying to stay away. If anything, the amazing thing to me is that, the first pitch, this guy's throwing 93 to 95 now, and he hangs a slider. And in my ear, guys would be jumping out of their shoes to hit that pitch. It speeds up the bat. You're hitting off the fastball. And a lot of hitters nowadays just take it.
Oh, 2 count. Got to protect. Little breeze is kicked up, blowing towards left to right now. We're liable to have a lot of swirling winds throughout the game as thunderstorms come and go. We had none when the game started. We were at 85 degrees. High overcast has set in again. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Orioles with Reynolds on at second and Adams on at first. Tatum. And this time Davis steps up.
Yeah, we told you Davis started out. Again, his first complete game in the big leagues was against the Orioles. 120 pitches. Started out 3-0, but since then 1-3 with an ERA close to 6 runs a game. So
Tatum will lift it in the air to right field. Zobrist will get under it and make the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 are left on. 4 complete here at Camden Yards. Rubber match of the 3-game set. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Hyundai. It's time to join the movement. Little lemonade. Fine day for it. Freshly squeezed, in fact. 5-3 ball game. A lot of offense going on here. Brian Mattis out after an inning and a third. 4 runs, 4 hits, and 4 walks. Wade Davis gave up back-to-back homers, Jones and Guerrero, then an unearned run in the third inning on an overthrow from the outfield. Alfredo Simon on out of the bullpen. Retired the side in order in the fourth inning. Rodriguez has reached on an error, has an RBI, and has hit into a fielder's choice. 0-1 count on him.
Yeah, the thing about Alfredo Simon was reading about John Lackey, who was able to yesterday beat Toronto after getting knocked around. Of course, they got him 14 runs, but he changed the sequence, threw a few more breaking balls. So when you talk about Alfredo Simon, he's got the ability to do that. You know, he's got a curveball, he's got a slider, he's got a splitter, and again, he's got a two-seam fastball and a four-seamer. So again, starter arsenal.
0-2 delivery, hit hard. Oh my gosh! Off Reynolds into left field. He's going to be all right, but I mean, you want to see what the hot corner is all about? That's it right there.
I remember when Richie Allen went to third. He said, well, hey, nothing to it, man. You just either you catch it or you don't, or you get out of the way. And this ball is a rocket, and they try to get the fastball by Sean Rodriguez. That's not working. That's what he does. And there's that hop. Boy, it gets the left forearm, almost gets the right hand. I saw Ron Santo was playing on AstroTurf, and Don Money hit a ball years ago, and he couldn't get out of the way. Had to leave the game.
He couldn't get out of the way of that one. And let's hope his wrist is all right. It's the glove wrist, the left hand. He took the glove off and kind of moved it around because that's where the ball bounced off. So we'll see if that affects Reynolds as the game goes on, especially at the plate.
Well, you know, Brooks Robinson won 16 Gold Gloves, played all those years, hardly ever got injured. And Brooksy, he had bruises all over his body. He would have. I mean, I know it sounds hard. That ball was smoked. Brooksy probably would have taken it off the body.
Yep.
That's why it was Brooks Robinson.
I think Reynolds would have there if he could have gotten the body in front of it.
I don't think he had a chance to think about that.
Wow.
That's when you turn over and you go, I'm really sorry about this. Didn't mean to do that. Come on. Almost got him killed.
Yeah, Casey Kochman up, throw over to first base. Get him back. I mean, watch how quickly this got there.
Went into topspin. Right there is the forearm, the left forearm.
Fortunate he didn't get the bare hand in there sooner. Might have hit that. And the pitch will be taken inside for a ball. So hit number 8 for the Rays. And again, they get the leadoff batter on base. They have done that in 4 of the 5 innings today. They have 4 stolen bases. And a pretty good lead over there for Rodriguez at first. He's challenging Simone to throw over. Not running. 2-0 delivery. That is a foul ball.
And Casey Kochman does exactly what he's supposed to do. Now, if you're pitching and you have fastball command, you're going to try to hit that outside quarter of the plate. If he does that, he probably hits into double play ball. But he's looking for a ball in the inside half and hit it by the first baseman. Try to get it into right field, create a first and third situation. You already got 5 runs. You want to add to it.
Kochman has hit into 3 ground ball double plays. Scott holding the bag at first, seeing what just happened over at third. Probably really anxious to get off that bag and into a fielding position with Kochman, the left-handed hitter, up there. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Sean Rodriguez, he has 3 stolen bases, 3 out of 4. 2-1 count. He leans. His natural position when he gets a lead is to lean on the front foot. Most base stealers, base runners, won't do that. They want to be balanced.
Yeah, but eventually what's going to happen is that you have to pivot on that front foot, which will be his right.
Yep.
If you pick it up, it just slows you down a little bit. So he is leaning. He's leaning into it.
Starter stance, and there he goes. Taken, throw. Tatum is there and got him. A one-hopper handled nicely by Hardy, who has really put on a display of picking up short hops in these situations during this homestand.
Well, it happened Friday night after Damon let off with a single. He threw him out, and right here again, I mean, it's a good throw, but it's low. And again, it's just catch it, drop the glove. That's what shortstops try to do. Of course, it makes it a little bit harder, but right into the glove. And just waiting.
And that'll be fouled off, so the Orioles record another out on the base paths, and a 3-ball, 2-strike count on Kochman with one away as Tatum and Hardy.
Well, and you've seen what Craig Tatum brings to this club. He's a catch and throw guy. So if you give him a chance, and of course that was a team effort, hold the runner a little bit, running count, and then Hardy finishes the play.
3-2 delivery on the way, and he walked him. That's 6 walks that Tampa Bay has picked up in the ball game. On Saturday, June 25, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over at the Reds Interleague game are going to get the Buck Showalter bobblehead presented by AT&T. This is an instant classic for Birdland collectible folks. Cincinnati's first ever visit to Oriole Park. You can get your tickets in advance, 888-848-BIRD, or go to Orioles.com. It's really neat how they did that. Buck leaning on the top rail where we see him so often.
You know, he won on Friday, and we brought out the bobblehead, and we left him in the drawer, which I hope he's not offended about. And
he's back out today.
He's back out today.
Yeah,
he's going to need to come back. I told him on Friday, on Saturday, I said, your bobblehead is 1-0. I said, other than that bunt play with Andino with runners at second and third, that sign you put on. He goes, you think I put that sign on?
He was great after the game, wasn't he? He said he's so mild-mannered in answering the questions he was asked about Andino doing that. And he said, we talked about it. I talked to them briefly before I came in here, and probably won't be happening again.
And that was on the one hand. On the other hand, he said, listen, we had a meeting where if the first baseman's back and you can get a ball down, that's a pretty good idea to do it. He said, but
in the air to right, first base side, and that's going to end up in the seats.
But again, you had Luke Scott at third with not a lot of speed, and you needed some runs, and he said just not quite the right time. And that's what you do. I mean, because one thing about Robert Andino, he's learned in different positions. He's done a nice job, but you could see that, again, this is a guy that has to learn to play at this level, and you have a great instructor in your manager.
Yep.
And that's what the game's about.
2-ball, 1-strike count on Elliott Johnson. Johnson has walked and grounded out. Runner at first base is Kochman. That'll be swung on and missed. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Elliott Johnson. Get exclusive O's coverage to your mobile phone. Text Orioles 29292. Message and data rates may apply.
So if I do that, what's going to happen? I don't mean right now.
You're going to get alerts. Every time something important happens, your whole body will vibrate. Swung on and miss. Simone gets his third strikeout.
Boy, he's vibrating on this pitch right here. Great splitter down and away. Look at it tumble out of the strike zone. There you go.
2 down.
The Beach Boys song. Good vibrations.
Good vibrations.
Well, we had Radar Love. That was one of the things for Brian Mattis. That didn't work.
We had the moon.
We Fly Me to the Moon. It's Song Day here.
Song Day.
Camden Yards.
Joe Harnell's version is actually a great version of that. Piano version. Fly Me to the Moon. 1-0 count on Kelly Shopping. Of course, Blue Eyes had the one that gets played most of the time. 2 down. Shopping walk, and he is popped out. Kochman still over there at first base. 1-0 delivery. Simone will be inside and high with it, and it will go to 2-0. It was a grinded out ball game last night, especially in the 8th, 9th, and into extra innings, and this game is picked up right where last night left off.
Well, that's how you got to beat the Rays.
Yep.
Especially on the road, one of the better road teams in baseball, 20-14.
That is going to be in there for a strike. Tampa Bay is tied for the most wins on the road in the majors, not just the American League.
And they like winning.
Yeah,
well, no, really,
you're a lot shorter.
Well, it does, but I know that sounds funny. But again, 10 straight losing years, 97, in 2008. When we talk about wins, last year 96, they win the division. The big money guys, you're looking back at them.
They've developed a winning attitude in Tampa Bay. They lead the American League with those 20 road wins and are tied with Atlanta and the Cardinals, who also have 20 in the National League. Wade Davis hoping for some offensive help here in a 5-3 lead. Swung and a miss. Simone gets one by him, and it's a full count. 3-2, 2 down. Kochman will be running.
Yeah, 93, and Shoppage 1 year. He had over 20 home runs, and Simone now with 51 pitches on this hot and humid afternoon.
Still going to hold him at first base. Scott. Runner takes off. Ball is popped up. Third base. Reynolds foul territory. And he's got it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Good ball game going to the bottom of the 5th inning at Camden Yards. It's 5-3 Rays. Winner 5-3, the Rays on top, and for the Orioles this is wide open. Now it depends on the bullpen to be able to get it done for them, and sooner or later here Wade Davis is going to have to come out if this pitch count keeps going up, Jim.
Yeah, hot and humid, and of course the Rays are well aware that you can blow a 3-0. I don't mean blow it, but you can squander whatever the word you want to use, because that's what they had last night. So again, we saw their resilience. They came back twice, 4-3, 5-4 to eventually win an extra inning. So maybe the Orioles are going to have to do that. It's a big game because, again, you want to get back closer to 500. You're 2 games under. You like to beat the Rays because, again, they've been one of the best clubs in the American League over the last 3 years and got an opportunity to do it. But your bullpen, not quite as good as theirs, but maybe that won't be the case this afternoon.
It's all the things Buck Showalter talks about. Winning series, you want to do that. You want to get to 500. Jim says 2 below that. You want to win at home. Orioles have started to do that, and you got to beat the division. So you got to start picking up some of the wins against the East.
Yeah, and they're 5-4 against the Rays this year. So there were a couple of years ago they were fifth. They won 3 out of the 18 games. So they've improved. Again, the Rays are very tough because they like to win, as we just talked about.
Buck Showalter over there had a look at Mark Reynolds between innings, and we'll see whether there's any impact on that shot he took that hit his wrist on the glove hand. Wade Davis goes to work here as Hardy stands in. J.J. Hardy in that leadoff spot again. He is singled and grounded out in the ball game, and will take the pitch away. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts by Davis. As we said, his pitch count continues to climb. He's up to 71 in the ball game, and that'll be hit high in the air to left field. Hardy just missed on that one. Ruggiano was there, and he's got it. 1 away. Gather up your family and come to the ballpark, the newest fan destination. It's the Miller Lite Flight Deck. 1 low price, casual atmosphere, bar-like seating. Everyone gets a food and beverage voucher you can use anywhere in the ballpark. The Miller Lite Flight Deck. Call 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com for details. So I'm enjoying it on this Sunday afternoon. Here's Nick Markakis. And Nick will take it down low. Nick 0 for 2. He lined into a double play. A hard shot his first time up the first base. Hardy, who had reached on a single, was just caught off the bag. Nothing he could do. That is in there for a strike. Nick now 5 for 27 lifetime off Davis. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Jones on deck. And that will be taken down low. Davis falls behind. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, this last start, 12 hits in 2 2/3 innings against Texas, 7 runs, a couple of home runs. So he's thrown already more pitches today than he did in his last start. 72 in 2 2/3 innings against the Rangers.
2-1 delivery on the way. Markakis will bloop that one to left center, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. So Markakis delivers a 1-out single, and the Orioles get the potential tying run to the plate. Take a look at our league leaderboard, brought to you by Lexus of Towson, Baltimore area's #1 Lexus dealer, who invite you to come by and see why they are #1. The worst strikeout to walk ratio in the American League this season. Kansas City, Sean O'Sullivan, Kyle Drabeck, and Chatwood. Wade Davis not too far behind there, and Francisco Liriano. As Davis on the year now has struck out 37 and has walked 31.
And Drabeck, he started that game against John Lester up in Toronto, and he's trailing 12-1, so his command probably not what he wanted to be.
Adam Jones, he has homered and doubled already. He has scored 2 runs and has an RBI. Markakis off first. Going to put that one in the air to center. Upton. Markakis halfway will come back, 2 down.
A lot crisper stuff, even though we're in the 5th inning from Wade Davis in the 1st inning. And that's how you get away with fastballs in the middle of the plate, when you have good velocity and movement.
So 2 away, and Vladimir Guerrero coming up. Vladdy with the back-to-back homers with Jones in the 1st, and he's grounded up. It's solo home run, breaking a 16-game homerless streak for Guerrero. Maybe he, like Mark Reynolds, can have a 2-homer day himself. Down to 3rd, and that'll be a foul ball. 0-1 count on Vladdy, who's hitting at .284, and now with 26 RBIs. One of the problems for the Orioles has been the fact that Vladimir Guerrero and Nick Markakis have both been single hitters this year. They are among the leaders in singles. Those are 2 guys the Orioles count on for getting extra base hits, and with it will generally come the RBIs.
Yeah, especially for Nick's with the averaging 45 doubles. Guerrero with more home run power. 27 of them last year. I mean, really what's happened, the good pitchers, doesn't mean he's not going to get his hits. They just stay out of the good part of the plate. You know, they run the ball in, and he's such an aggressive hitter, leads the American League in first pitches swung at. So they stay away from his power. At least that's the intention. So every once in a while, like the cutter up and away, he gets to hammer. And of course the Orioles would also like him to start hitting home runs on the road, or at least extra base hits. He's yet to hit one.
Orioles down by 2, runner at first base, and 2 down. 8 hits for the Rays, 6 for the O's. Guerrero with an 0-1. And Markakis, little awkward step getting back to the bag that time. He may have been thinking about going here.
Well, he's stolen 4 out of 5 already this year.
Long step on that last one.
Well, you take about a 2.5 step lead, but then you got to scurry back when they're throwing over there.
And Guerrero will pop it up behind second base. Shortstop Johnson is there, and he's got it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. That's the end of 5 here at Camden Yards. Rays up by 2.
home run derby highlights in the first inning. Johnny Damon, 32nd lifetime home run, 1-0. And then Adam Jones will make it 3-1, 3-2 on Guerrero's blast, 6th home run he's hit. And then another big inning will get Brian Mattis out of the game. Orioles come back with their 3rd run on a double by Jones, the 2-base error. Makes it 5-3, which is where it stands right here as we head for the 6th inning.
And Johnny Damon at the top of the order is back up again. He started the ball game off with a home run. You see the runs in the first inning, 5 combined. 3 solo homers in the first, 2 for the O's. Adam Jones, home run double, scored from second base. Damon will tap that one to Scott. Simone to cover and gets there.
Well, nice little job by Alfredo Simone. I mean, he came in, gave up the sacrifice fly with the bases loaded, and then 1 single run after the double. So again, he's pitched well.
Yep.
Kept him in the game. Exactly what a long man's supposed to do.
Ben Zobrist standing in. He has walked, singled, and scored a couple of runs in the ball game. Also a strikeout victim. 1 down. Zobrist hitting at .270. Tell you how unusual last night was for Zobrist when he got those 4 extra base hits. There have only been 19 players in the history of the 17 players in the history of the majors who have done what he did last night. That's get 4 hits, all extra base hits with at least 1 triple and score 4 runs. He's the 18th player to do it. Ty Cobb was the first in 1921. Cobb had a 4-for-5 ball game in which he had 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. And Roger Cedeno in 2001 had been the last one to do that. In between, there were the likes of Roger Maris, who did it with a couple of home runs in 1958. Lou Gehrig in 1928 went 4-for-4. He had 2 triples, 2 homers, and 4 runs scored in that ball game. Well, he's not very often.
No, but he's a streak guy. 10 RBIs in 1 game, 18 in a 5-game stretch. He hits his home runs in clusters, 7 in the first 25 games, and then only 2 in the last 38 games.
And he likes to do it against the Orioles.
Well, and maybe that's kind of coincides with the schedule.
Yeah. 4-10 average on the year against the O's.
Well, he gets a lot of good pitches to hit, and hitters will tell you that's part of that's what Ted Williams will tell you, or would have told you.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way. That'll go out towards left and not deep. PA's got a long way to come. PA will get there. 2 down. Other thing, we were talking about things you got to do to get to 500 and above. You got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Easier said than done, obviously, because nobody wants to be one of those teams. Take a look at Tampa Bay and the Orioles. Their records against teams that are 500 or better. See the 10-12 and the 15-21. Not much difference there. Under 500, Tampa Bay's 24-18, while the Orioles are 15-11 with that ERA jumping up. So both Madden and Showalter know there are clubs you're supposed to beat, and the problem for the Orioles have been they've been one of those teams for the last 12 years that everybody said we got to beat that team.
The haves and the have-nots.
Exactly.
When Tampa Bay, before 2008, you'd read the Boston Globe early in the year, and okay, who's going to win? The Red Sox or the Yankees? How they beat the haves and the have-nots, and the have-nots were the Rays, and it were the Orioles.
Yep.
Toronto is usually under 500 unless you go way, way back.
Breaking ball's going to miss inside, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
So the Rays have changed that again.
They are a team to be beaten and look to beat up on others. They are 34-30, 4 games out coming into this ball game. Problem for them right now, and also for the Orioles, the necessity of winning is generated by a red-hot Red Sox team that's going for its 9th win in a row today, and they're leading 12-1.
And in those 8 wins, they were averaging over 8 runs a game, and that's gone up today with the 12 already on the board.
And the Yankees are putting some wins together again. They're only 2 games out, so you got to keep pace.
But how about Bartolo Colon wins his 5th game last night, and then blows out his hamstring. So he'll be getting another blood, whatever he got.
1-2. There have been this year, I mean, there are always key injuries, but it seems as though, and you talk to longtime baseball people, talking to one of the scouts today about it, there are so many injuries this year to key players, to all-star players. I mean, you can easily have 2 all-star teams put together off the DL and the American and National Leagues that are exceptional clubs. That one to the hole, and that's going to be a base hit. Lirigiano is on with a 3-hit ball game.
Well, he really hangs in there. I mean, just think, a couple of weeks ago, he's playing at AAA, hitting over 300. He holds a bunch of records for Durham. Obviously, that's their AAA affiliate. We'd rather not do that, but an opportunity. Again, Sam Fold had a great April, struggled a little bit, still on the club as the defensive guy that can do some things for you. But Lirigiano, I mean, he's earned his way, maybe not into the 3rd spot, but into the lineup and producing.
Yeah, he has made a winner out of Joe Madden's decision to hit him 3rd on 3 times out of 4 so far. Evan Longoria an RBI and a sac fly. He has walked and popped out. Longoria now has had 3 hits in 10 at-bats in this series. He's this year hitting .289 against the Orioles. He's had only 1 home run, but he's had 8 RBIs against the O's coming into the game, and he's got 1 today. That's going to miss outside to him, and a 2-0 count. A battle for runs. 9 hits now for the Rays, 6 for the Orioles, and a 5-3 Rays lead.
And you better stay away from the inside half of the plate, because that's where Evan Longoria is his best. Now, we saw last night he can hit balls in the middle of the plate, but usually hits them to the big part of the ballpark.
2-0 delivery is a strike to him. He has 1 hit off Simone, 1 for 6, and that's a homer.
Boy, but how many times over the last couple of years have we seen him just get the bat head on that ball inside middle and hit it deep to left field or down the line for a double?
2 ball, 1 strike count with 2 down. Fans actually have a wave going here. I've noticed last month 3 ballparks saw the wave. I haven't seen the wave in years. Most ballparks you don't see fans do it anymore.
No. Hot Sunday afternoons, apparently.
So you're saying they're out of their minds?
Yep. Still there.
Here's the 3-1 delivery, and off the end of the bat, right field. Adams out, and Ryan Adams will put it away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Felix Piet with a fine play off Zobrist for the 2nd out of the inning. Well, who'd have thought these things would be true on this June 12? Curtis Granderson is now tied for the league lead in home runs with Jose Bautista with 20. Jake Arrieta's tied for the American League lead among pitchers and wins with 8. And Brandon League of Seattle, a team not winning a lot of ball games, leads the American League with 18 saves. Names you might not have expected to be there on this date. Certainly for Arrieta, they are earned and interesting, and portending a quality future starter whose quality showing up now. Luke Scott with a shift on. Scott has singled and grounded out. Reynolds and PA to follow. Wade Davis outside for a ball. Davis has had to grind this game up, giving up the 2 home runs in the first inning and then an unearned run in the third, but since has settled down. A single, a hit batter, and the walk have been the only base runners for the O's since the third inning.
Well, 81 pitches and the bullpen not getting up to throw them, but they're stretching, and one of those ball games. And again, they have the 5th best bullpen in the American League, and you know, the Orioles will have an off day tomorrow. They don't, as you mentioned, the makeup game in Detroit.
Fooled him with that one on the speed of it, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
And he's saying he thinks it high. That the one thing that I've seen, you know, we had a big strike zone last night with Tim Welke, but Jim Wolf's been very consistent today behind the plate. His brother Randy Wolf, left-handed major league pitcher, been around for years.
1-2 count on Scott. Luke on a check swing will foul that away. The Rays pitching, their starters are ranked 5th with a very good 3.88 ERA. 3-4 years ago, a 3.88 ERA would have been number 1, but we have turned to a pitching defensive game.
Yeah, league average
is outstanding.
The league ERA now has dropped to 3.93.
1-2 delivery misses away. 2-ball 2-strike count. It continues to be the year of the pitcher. Runs are down, home runs are down, and ERAs have gone down with it. 2-ball 2-strike count. Luke hitting at .236, 7 home runs. Davis's 2-2 delivery to him. Check swing. He went around and he got him. Shopping will put the tag on him.
Perfectly thrown breaking ball. One of the more important things is you want to finish your breaking ball, and when you get ahead, you can throw it out of the strike zone underneath the zone. And that's exactly what he does.
3 strikeouts for Davis in the game. He got 2 in a row in the second inning, and that is the first strikeout since. Here is Mark Reynolds. Reynolds coming up with a walk and a ground ball out. He has a 5-game hit streak going against Tampa Bay. And they shift their second baseman, Sean Rodriguez, even further now. The shift against a right-hander. You see the percentage of hits for extra bases. Grady Sizemore, Sean Rodriguez, second baseman here, Quinton, and then Mark Reynolds. At almost 60% of his hits have been for extra bases. Pops that one up to right center field. Upton is coming over, and he's got it. 2 down. Well, Davis continues to get the outs. 2 away here in the 6th, and Felix PA, who's 0 for 2, comes up.
Yeah, and he did it pretty efficiently. Again, leadoff base hit in the first, couple of home runs, line drive double play, keeps him from really out of harm's way, and then a totally different pitcher since then. His stuff much, much better. Velocity up, using all his pitches.
Base is empty, and PA 1 for 7 in the series. Stands in against Davis. He's now 4 for 17 lifetime off the right-hander. PA came in on him, and he bounces it off the top of the dugout. Entertain clients and colleagues with a custom suite package at Oriole Park. Private suites available. Lots of choices. And you can make a great statement for your company and yourself. You can find out by going to Orioles.com/suites or get a tour by calling 410-547-6076. 1-1 delivery is outside for a ball. PA will take the 2-1 away. 3-1 count with Adams waiting on deck. Orioles with a chance to win their 10th series. If they can get a victory today, they are 9-11-1 in series so far this year.
And only 8-13 in series finales. That's not a good number.
Orioles have had awkward numbers, if you will, against Tampa Bay. They are only 1-4 in games played here at Camden Yards, and 5-1 in games played at the Trop, including that sweep in the opening series. They lead the season series 6-5. Here's the 3-2 delivery. PA right back to the mound. Davis has got it. Drops it. Gets it again. And a 1-2-3 inning. Retires that side in order. On a day like today, you get on the water taxi and take a cruise around the Inner Harbor.
You to join Dave Johnson, Phil Wood, and Mel Antonin and me for the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report each weekday starting at 5:30 here on Masson. We'll talk about the Orioles, the Nationals, and what's going on around the majors. It all begins every weekday at 5:30 right here on Masson.
And we go to the 7th, a 5-3 ball game as the pitchers have taken over after the first 3 innings were dominated by the hitters. Call to the bullpen. Hickey, the pitching coach, Jim Hickey, and Joe Madden, and Kyle Farnsworth came out of the pen and went to the dugout. Not the mound yet. Have no idea. Son, you've been traded. No.
Yeah, that's
no.
right. You don't trade your closer in June of a pennant race.
Oh, I have no idea. Perhaps they had fresh lemonade made and there was only one left, and they know Kyle really likes it. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and that'll be taken down low.
It's just amazing. You're on top of everything.
You got to be on top of the news, all the substance, all the stuff that needs to be relayed to the fans out there in TV land.
And once again, our final score. Here's the 2-1 delivery.
That's outside, 3-1.
Yeah, see, you can see his arm, and again, the bullpen up behind him, the arm getting a little bit down, and some of it has to do with his front side. He just takes that left arm and just kind of spins, so you lose your arm angle a little bit. But this is a dangerous count to this guy.
Upton down to third. Reynolds. Why me? And not going to get him.
Well, when you have speed, I mean, a lot of tough hops. If you take a step back, you're going to have a problem. So again, it's a reflex position, and you got to come in right away. And again, anytime you have to play a short hop, you got to have really good hands. And sometimes it's just, I mean, right there, that's a short hop. You can't consistently get that ball in your glove. It's just almost impossible.
Second error of the day charged on Reynolds, and 14 on the year. Puts a runner on again.
And then you know who's running, so you know you can't linger, as it's Upton.
Upton with Sean Rodriguez up. He has singled, reached on an error, hit into a fielder's choice. Simone down to third, and by Reynolds, who had moved in even with the bag. PA over to get it. It's going to be a double. So Rodriguez slashes one. We just got through showing you he's one of the leaders in extra base hits in percentage of hits collected, and he adds another right there.
Well, he's a fastball hitter. Here he gets a hanging hook, and again, because of their speed, their ability, you're playing even with the bag, so you don't catch that ball. If you've got a slow guy up there, you're a couple steps back. That's most likely a double play ball.
So Simone stretched to his longest outing as he went 4 2/3 innings plus 2 hitters. He will leave, giving the Orioles a chance in this game. Gonzalez will be coming on to face Kochman. Three 2/3 innings had been the longest outing this year for Alfredo Simon. 4 2/3 in this one. There's the line. He is responsible for the 2 base runners.
Yeah, they try to stretch him out because of the use of the bullpen in the first couple of games. So Michael Gonzalez comes in, did have a scoreless 9th inning, came in a 7-0 game on Friday night, but wasn't easy. Bases loaded. I think around 32 pitches. Meaningful game here. Good matchup. Lefty
Kochman
versus lefty. Yeah.
Infield in. Check swing. And it goes foul. So the runners, you got the speedster Upton and the speedster Rodriguez at 3rd and 2nd respectively. And Kochman, who has double, popped out and walked. Just trying to do anything to get him in. And has the advantage of the drawn in infield. 5-3 ball game with the Rays up by 2 in the 7th inning. Gonzalez, Kochman's 0 for 3 against him. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That's to short. Runner's going to stay. So not going on contact, even with the speed of Upton, the runner, and they get it out.
Well, they look at the infield and they figured, you know what, if we do that, and we just hold the runner at 3rd, we're still going to have another shot to maybe score 2 runs. So Michael Gonzalez comes in, and the one thing about Michael is that his breaking ball hasn't been very good, so they stay with the heater and they get the ground ball, and so they have a couple of shots now to still score a run. And of course, Elliott Johnson gets to turn around and get to the better side this year numerically.
Not only are they drawn in, they're on the infield. I mean, they are. This is as far in as you'll see an infield play. They've got Scott at 1st and Reynolds at 3rd on the grass. And on that last play, even Adams at 2nd base was on the grass, and Hardy's not far from it. So they're really in tight with Upton, a speedster, on at 3rd base. As the Orioles, Rick Showalter does not want that run to score. So they're taking the chance by closing ground in the infield, and there's Upton, the lead runner.
I think if you had a right-handed ground ball pitcher, you might load him up here and maybe try to get the double play ball with 1 out.
Big cut and a miss. 1-2.
Yes, what we saw from Michael Gonzalez on Friday night, I mean, it's been a struggle. He said, we talked about the double-edged sword. He'd like to pitch more. They'd like to pitch him more, except if he's not pitching well, then you don't pitch him more. But he did get him out, and they're just hoping he comes in. He threw the ball 94 on Friday.
1-2 delivery. Got him. That's high heat, and that's 2 down.
So again, wants to be part of the success here. And again, velocity not where it was last year when he had the arm problems. It's been 92 to 94 all year. It's just he's had a rolling breaking ball, so today hasn't used it. It's a pretty good idea.
He had really struggled coming in against first batters. He's only retired 16 out of 22 first batters faced, but he gets a very big out. Right-handers hitting hard, 378. Left-handers, 227. Shopik on a big cut. Kelly Shopik against Gonzalez has faced him a couple of times, 1 for 2.
Well, here's your momentum shift. The runners at second and third, nobody out. You're trailing by 2, and if Michael somehow can get out of this, boy, it totally changes the complexion of this game.
0-1 deliveries in the dirt. Great play made by Tatum as he walked out to block that and save a run.
You can imagine what was going through his mind on this breaking ball.
Got the whole body out there and gloved it. You've seen one scoring chance that went by the boards earlier in the game. A runner at third, wild pitch, and the runner did not come to the plate.
Well, that was Kochman. This is Upton.
Upton will break if it gets by. 1 ball, 1 strike count. In a base hit into left field. What a big hit for Shopik. Upton will score. Rodriguez will score. And they add 2 to make it a 7-3 ball game on a big 2-out base hit.
Well, that was the slider I was talking about. Look for yourself. Right in the middle of the plate. And he just hits a rocket. Reynolds can't catch it. Just didn't finish it. Good fastball, bad breaking ball. Kelly Shopik all over it. And there are your 2 runs to make it 7-3.
Shopik with RBIs 9 and 10. Playing in just his 35th game. An enormously important hit after Gonzalez had gotten 2 outs. Back to the top of the order. And Johnny Damon, he's got 2 RBIs, a home run, run scored. Swings through that one. Also has drawn a walk in the ball game. Damon hitting at 282 with 34 runs batted in. Runner at first and 2 down. And we'll take the pitch. Did he go? No. Tatum tried to draw it by starting to walk away, but couldn't get the call. So Alfredo Simon will be charged with the 2 runs here. 3 total. 3 runs, 5 hits over 4 2/3. A couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. And Brian Mattis 4 runs on 4 hits in an inning and a third. 1-2 is swung on and missed. Couple of runs in, 7th inning stretch time. Brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Fly straight. Drink responsibly. To 3 lead, a very big 2-run spot in that 7th inning. One of the proposals being discussed by Major League Baseball is realigning the whole game, creating just an American and a National League without divisions, where you would have Houston maybe moving to the American League. If that were true and in place right now, with 5 teams from each league making it to the playoffs, here's what it would look like. Probably what you'd have is the Red Sox and Phillies getting a bye. The Yankees would play the Rangers, the Indians would play the Tigers, and then you'd go on through the playoffs. That's a proposal. Chances of it happening, I mean, who knows, really? but at least something to talk about.
Yeah, they're also talking, if it's not the Astros, maybe it'll be Cincinnati or Pittsburgh will come over to the American League and even it up. Now the National League, with 16 teams, and the American League with 14. You get more people in the playoffs. They've been talking about doing that anyway. You would probably lessen the difficulty of the travel. You could still create the rivalries. You'd still end up maybe not playing each other 18 or 19 times. It might come down a little bit. So I think the one thing, and at least in reading about this, that maybe interleague play goes away, and they say the owners probably wouldn't like that, but I think the players' union really doesn't care.
Yeah. And I don't think fans will care a whole lot about that anymore either. I'm not sure interleague play brings a lot to the game anymore.
Well, I think every once in a while it does. I mean, obviously with Cincinnati coming in and St. Louis with Albert Pujols, when's the last time you had a chance to see him play here in Baltimore? So you'll get to do that in late June. So I guess there's still a little bit, but I think what's better, the overall wealth or goodness of the game versus just maybe getting to see Albert hit.
Yeah, and the other thing I really like if you do that is you give more importance to the regular season if you give a bye to the team that wins a real pennant. You bring the pennant race back in, and the regular season really means something because that first series might be a 3-game series, and you really don't want to get stuck in that.
Yeah, and also you create where more teams feel like they have a chance, and then I think what will happen is you won't have as many people on your roster in the month of September. That's been suggested. So, all you're trying to do is make it better or do something that's going to increase the popularity of the game.
Interesting that it's under discussion anyway, and we'll see where it goes. First ball hitting is Ryan Adams, and that will be foul back. So the Orioles now, after that 2-run spot, put up a much bigger hill to climb to get back into this game. Tampa Bay has been able to take advantage of opportunities, and credit Wade Davis after the tough start, hanging in and pitching well, and still out there. And that's going to be a base hit. And the Orioles have the leadoff man on in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Adams gets the leadoff single. Our Hyundai game flow brought to you by Hyundai. It's time to join the movement. First inning offense with the teams combining for the 5 runs on 7 hits. Another one would be added by Tampa Bay in the second. The Orioles got an unearned run in the third, and then the pitching took over. And now Orioles are trying to get back into this late with the 3 at-bats they've got left.
Yeah, their bullpen up, both righty and lefty, just in case. I don't want to let this one get out of hand. And
Tatum will foul it back. He has struck out and flied out, batting ninth and getting the start behind the plate. Amazing that one of the things Davis was able to do is get that pitch count under control. That has allowed him to stay in the ball game. He's now at 96, but he's in the 7th inning.
Well, again, you were talking about, one of our keys to the game, walk on the wild side, because again, he's just too many walks, and that's changed.
That's going to go to the hole, and that's going to be a base hit. Longoria dove, couldn't get it. This is just what the Orioles needed. They have got their 8 and 9 men coming through with base hits and turn the order over. And how big do those runs in the 7th inning look now?
Yep, a little curveball, a lot of breaking balls to Craig Tagum today. This time able to get it by Longoria, Gold Glover. So again, your 7, 8, 9 hitters came into this game hitting .345. He controlled the first 6 in the lineup. So again, a chance to get back in this game here in the 7th inning.
So that will do it for Davis, as now the bullpen will take over for Tampa Bay. But boy, you got to give him credit. He did a heck of a job hanging in there, and Adam Russell, who we've seen in the series, will come on. Hang on after a real fine performance, as he's got a chance to pick up his 5th win of the season. He would be 5-5 if he can do it. It's up to the pen now.
Yeah, Adam Russell, he came in on that Friday night, came in the 3rd. So again, 6 perfect innings in 24 games. But the important thing is last 8 appearance hasn't given up a run. Hard thrower, middle, 94 to 95. Hard slider. Really doesn't throw too many changeups. Came over in the Jason Bartlett trade from the Padres.
They're ready to go. 2 on for the Orioles in the 7th. Nobody out. Top of the order. Here's J.J. Hardy. He takes it outside for a ball. Hardy with a single. 1 for 3. Brignac has come on to play it short. Elliott Johnson out of the ball game. Orioles with 8 hits in the game, and the Rays have 11.
So let's see. Stay away from the fastball.
Big,
you can see why. Yep. Well, he has a good one. But again, the book, he tried to get him to roll over on a slider. He's been hitting the fastball so well in this series. And it's not only this series, but, again, he's hit now in 19 of 20 games. And he's up there around, and you can see the scoring and runners in scoring position numbers, but he's up in the 340 mark, average-wise.
Pitches away for J.J. Hardy over the last 20 ball games. He's hitting .335. He's got 3 doubles, 4 homers, 13 runs scored, and 9 runs batted in. The Orioles need some more of it right now. Here's the 2-1. Hardy will take it. It's outside, and a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Well, the Orioles looking for a 7th inning. Madden with the bullpen active.
And they got Ramos right behind him, who came in and pitched very well last night, the lefty. And that's because Nick Markakis looms on deck.
3-1 delivery. Hardy will foul it off, and a full count, 3-2. J.J. 0 for 3. Lifetime off Russell. Orioles losing the extra inning ball game last night to this Tampa Bay team that's now won 4 out of 5 extra inning games that they have played this year. 3-ball, 2-strike delivery. Hardy goes after it, pops it up. Shopik back, and no play.
We always talk about the difficulty of being a bullpenner and coming out. You got a 4-run lead, but you have a good fastball hitter. You know what the right pitch is, and that's a slider. But again, if you're a youngster, can you get that pitch over? You don't have the luxury of being a starter where you start from scratch, blank canvas. Not the case here.
3-ball, 2-strike count. Adams, the lead runner at second base, and Tatum on at first. 3-2 delivery. Hardy to third base, and that'll be a foul ball. Longoria plays it in foul territory. These two teams have put on shows here in this 3-game set. As far as games of fan interest, they have been fun to watch. There's some key moments all the way through the ball games, and in this one starting early with a big first inning for both teams. 3-2 is going to come again. Runners were not going and will not here, and a slow roller that's going to go foul again.
Yeah, another good 3-2 pitch. J.J. Hardy doesn't miss too many high fastballs. But Russell does have a 2-seamer that has a little sink to it.
Russell's on for the 7th time this year against the Orioles. He's given up 4 runs on 10 hits in 6 1/3 innings against the O's. 3-2 count to Hardy with Markakis waiting. And Hardy will pop that one again back towards the seats. And that is the 3rd foul ball coming on the 3-2 count.
Well, Adam Russell's a big guy. Comes out of Ohio, Huron, Ohio, but he is 6'8".
This is going to be pitch number 10 of this at bat.
Well, again, I don't know if he thinks he can get a slider over. So that's why you're getting a lot of fastballs to a fastball hitter. And a lot of times you don't want to throw that pitch. Just shake and hope that J.J. will think you're going to do it.
3-2. Foul back again. So Hardy working him. Coming out of the bullpen with 2 on. That was a 97-mile-an-hour heater on the gun here at Camden Yards. And he's fouled off 4 pitches with a 3-2 count. And the 11th pitch of the at-bat coming up. What a job Hardy has done for the Orioles all season long, and in this leadoff spot. And he rips it into left field for a base hit so hard that Adams is going to have to stay. Throw will come all the way through, and the bases are loaded. 3 singles here in the 7th inning.
So 11 pitches, 8 of them for strikes. And eventually he gets one pretty much thigh high in the middle of the plate, and he's all over it. I mean, it's pretty much right where Kelly Shoppach's glove was. And
Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, is going to make his way out. Nick Markakis is going to be coming to the plate. He's 1 for 2 off Russell.
So you got the lefty up, but I think when you look who's behind the lefty, even though Ramos, the left-hander, actually has gotten right-handers out better than lefties this year. I mean, both good numbers, 216. Lefties are hitting against him. That is Nick Markakis waiting on deck. Or actually, is it J.P. Howell? Nope, it is Ramos. Howell just wiping his hands, putting fear in the Oriole dugout.
No question they're not going to make a pitching change here. Nick Markakis has already delivered the grand slam home run at 6 RBIs, a career high on Friday against Tampa Bay, breaking out of an extra base hit. Olfer. Now he's got him loaded again. The single by Adams at third, Tatum single second, single Hardy at first.
And that grand slam came on a hanging curveball off of Jeremy Hellickson. They're not going to speed up his bat here. You talked about earlier the ability to hit singles. They want the Orioles to earn them 1 or 2 at a time, not the big blow.
Very big at bat. Nick Markakis with a 1 for 3. A base hit. First ball swinging. Foul tip for a strike. 2 very big runs in the 7th inning. Unearned, that changed the complexion of this game, making it 7-3 instead of 5-3. Markakis down and away on him, and an 0-2 count.
Yeah, chased the ball there, but that first pitch, when you swing through it, you get a little anxious. You know, you got to speed up the bat a little bit. Late on the first heater.
Nick telling us after the game on Friday that after he had a home run and a double, he thought he was pulling off the ball, looping the ball into left field for those singles rather than driving it. The 0-2 is way up high, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. So the Orioles again with a shot at it. They've stranded only 4 in the game to 9 for the Rays. The Rays have had a ton of base runners. Orioles not so many until this inning. 1-2 delivery. Good stop made by Shoppach again on a ball in the dirt. 2-2. So here's the one he wants to come at him on.
Yep, there's the breaking ball. Just hope that they could maybe get him to chase. If you go back to the first inning after the leadoff base hit by Hardy, Nick took a cutter, which is like a slider, and ripped it, but right at Kochman for a double play.
2-ball 2-strike count. Markakis 1 for 2 off Russell. 2-2 delivery. Nick will take it, and it's 3-2.
So they wasted the 0-2 pitch. They tried to strike him out on a slider to get to 2-2. And then that ball not even close to the zone. So now it's Russell that has to throw a strike.
Only 29 strikeouts for Nick this year, 18 walks. And the fans into it. 3-2 is grounded towards second base. Knocked down Rodriguez, and he makes a nice play. A run will score, an RBI for Markakis as Adams crosses to make it a 7-4 game.
Let's take a look. Again, Nick Markakis trying to get something going. He does. He gets the ground ball out, and he thought he might have a base hit, but everybody on the Rays team talks about how Sean Rodriguez, we've seen him what he's done with the bat, but he is a above par defensive player. That could have been a 2-run single into right field.
Now Adam Jones, runners at second and third. Jones is 4 for 6 off Russell. He represents the potential tying run in the ball game. He has homered, doubled, and flied out. Scored 2 runs in the game and picking up the RBI on his 9th home run.
Well, we've seen Adam Russell struggle with that slider, so you're sitting dead red. You hit anytime a guy throws 94 to 97. That's pretty much what you're doing anyway, and hope that you'll get one in the middle of the plate that hangs.
Adams 360 with runners in scoring position. Both he and Matt Wieters are now in the top 10 in that department in the American League. And as we said, the month of June, he's just been tearing it up. 3 home runs in 10 games with that shot in the first inning. 1-0 delivery, jammed him. And jammed him pretty good.
Yeah,
1 ball, 1 strike.
A little bit, but again, late movement from Russell. Yeah, we're the Padres up and down 4 times last year, but Tampa Bay having to restructure the whole bullpen, and that's why the Bartlett trade. They got Ramos, who's warming up. They got Russell, who's on the mound. A couple of other young pitchers now in AAA.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Final score is 14-1. Boston over Toronto in Toronto. So the Red Sox have won 9 in a row. Toronto's lost 4 in a row. They will be the Orioles' next opponent in Toronto on Tuesday night. Yankees also looking to put away a game. They're 9-1 over the Indians, who are suddenly struggling. Cleveland's only won 2 out of 10 and have a 3-game losing streak coming into the day. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Jones, 2 in scoring position. And that's outside. Shopping again stops it. It's right behind him.
Nice little play. Boy, how many pitches have we seen in the dirt today that Tatum and Kelly Shoppich have knocked down, kept in front of him. That's exactly what he does. Slides, centers it. I don't exactly know where it is, but it's close enough. I mean, you're down by 3 runs. You're not going anywhere unless you know you can make it. Juan Cruz, the right-hander, up now. Well, Ramos has just been standing there.
He's ready.
Yeah, he's been observing.
They deliver to Jones, a tapper off the glove. Run's going to score. Jones trying to beat it out. And
I don't know.
What a play by Rodriguez on a bang. An RBI. It'll make it a 7-5 game.
Nobody argues, so apparently out. But again, Rodriguez, Orioles inching closer. And now Adams starts flying down there, and now watch this, just a little now, all of a sudden they go, and that's the difference, as it turns out.
So a runner at third base and Vladdy up with 2 down. 2 RBI game now for Jones. Vladdy rips it just foul and almost took the inside off Hardy's uniform. Wow. Well, the Orioles chipping away here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, and that ball's not going straight.
No,
it's hooking right at you.
0-1 delivery up high. Orioles make it 7-5 in those 2 unearned runs in the 7th inning, and now the difference in the ball game. Guerrero 1 for 4 off Russell. Pretty good eye. Doesn't go. Inside to him, 2-1. RBIs by Markakis and Jones in the inning on ground ball outs to second. Vladdy looking to get a hole in one and tie this game up. 2-1 delivers outside, 3-1. Scott on deck.
And now Cesar Ramos gets loose again with Luke Scott in the on deck circle.
3-1 delivery. That'll be foul back. So Vladdy will take it full 3-2. Guerrero hitting .307 here at Camden Yards this year in all of his home runs. He's been piling them up, 6 of them here at home, none on the road. Adam Russell, here's the 3-2. Vladdy to short. Brignac's got it. He'll make the play, and that will retire the side. 2 runs in on 3 hits with a base runner left on. 7 complete. It's a 2-run ball game. Tuesday, it'll be the Birds going north. They take on the Jays for the first of 3. Chris Jakubauskas is now going to make the starting game 1 against Carlos Villanueva. Our coverage on Masson 2 HD, 630 O's Extra, presented by Verizon 4G LTE, and our game coverage will be at 7 o'clock. All the access you need is right here on Masson. And a defensive replacement as Robert Andino will come on to play at third base, and Reynolds is out with a contusion on the glove arm on that hard shot. This one stayed in for a couple more innings, but comes out here in the 8th.
Yeah, right on the inside the flexor part of your forearm, so I'm sure they're going to get some ice on that.
Well, the Orioles very much in it. See if Gonzalez can hold them down. Zobrist, Ruggiano, and Longoria, the middle of the order coming up.
Well, they leave Gonzalez in because Zobrist is a better hitter from the other side, power-wise, average-wise, and then they have a right-hander up behind him in the bullpen. So this could be his only batter of the inning.
He has scored 2 runs today, reaching on a single and a walk. He's 1 for 3 officially. And will take the pitch for a strike from Gonzalez, 2-1. Zobrist hitting at 269. Rays 7-11-1. The Orioles 5-9-2. We're in the top of the 8th. 2-1 delivery. Zobrist base hit. Yeah, the leadoff batter on again.
I mean, he's not a 234 hitter when he gets to look fastball in the middle of the plate. Totally different hitter. Count has so much to do with hitting.
6th of the 8 innings. Leadoff man's been on. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T player of the game. The candidates: Adam Jones, who's had a home run double, couple runs, 2 RBIs. Vladimir Guerrero, he's had a home run, his 6th of the ball game. And Johnny Damon, who led the ball game off with a homer, has a 2 RBI day. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 518-62. Ruggiano's had a big day, 3 singles.
Yeah, I don't think they bunt here, and the reason is because if you bunt, they'll probably walk Longoria. And I think Joe Madden wants him 3 RBIs last night, wants him to hit. And then you got a guy already 3 for 4 you saw with the singles. Take your chances.
Ruggiano with a runner on at first base and nobody out. Gonzalez will try and get that ground ball for a double play. And the pitch will be taken up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Orioles, as we mentioned earlier, can go deep into that bullpen with a day off tomorrow. If they have to, just get the matchups. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Zobrist back to the bag. There is Ricardo worked last night.
Yeah, 30 pitch or 30-plus pitch inning.
Tatum looking over to see what they want to do regarding the runner. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Foul back. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. 2 RBIs for Damon in the game. Longoria's got 1. Upton's got 1. Sean Rodriguez an RBI. And 2 RBIs for Shopik that came in the 7th inning. Orioles have had him. Markakis. Jones has got a couple. Guerrero with a home run RBI. Scored 1 run on an error. On an outfield throw that Jones scored from second base on. And Gonzalez way up high with that. 2-2. Six-minute rain delay before we got the ball game started, and then we kicked it off with a Johnny Damon leadoff homer, and away we went with the pitchers picking up in the middle innings. Didn't have anything scored in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and then 4 combined runs in the 7th. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ruggiano will have to wait. Another toss over to first base.
Well, Zobrist can run. 17 steals 3 years ago, and last year 23. And stole 4 stolen bases in the 1st inning. This running team came in with 56, now have 60.
4 out of 6. Runner goes, hit in the air to center. Jones has it, sees a play at first. Here's the throw off the mark. Fortunately does not go into the stands. And Zobrist will still be at first base with Ruggiano retired on the fly ball.
Yeah. Greg Tatum, he's had a busy afternoon, and right here it's all in front of you, and then he lets it go, and it takes off, and it's the bottom of the stand, stays in play.
So that will be it for Gonzalez, with Longoria coming up, the right-handed hitter. Gonzalez will come out, and Jeremy Accardo will come on to do the pitching, the 3rd reliever used by the Orioles. 7-5 ball game in the 8th inning. A runner on and 1 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Deeper into the bullpen on this grinded-out game, and here's Jeremy Accardo.
Yeah, came in last night, tie ball game, 11th inning, and they got to him. Base on ball and error. Again, a base hit by third baseman Longoria, who will come in to greet him today. So again, the bullpen had been so good. 4 earned runs in 11 games, and then last night 4 earned runs in about 4.5 innings or whatever. So a little different.
Longoria's 3 for 5 off Accardo. Runner at first, 1 out. 12 hits for the Rays in the game. And outside for a ball. Zobrist is the base runner at first. Longoria, sac fly RBI, a walk, and has popped out twice. Longoria this year, .289 hitter against the Orioles, and a big factor in the runs scored with the 9 RBIs against the O's. And that is a strike on the outside corner. Longoria checking down with Tom Foley after each pitch here to see whether or not Zobrist will be running or not.
Well, if you run him, are you going to pitch to Longoria? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably match up against B.J. Upton. Try to get a double play ball. Joe Madden probably thinking that.
Foul back, runner not going, and a 1-2 count.
I'm not sure I want to take the bat out of Evan Longoria's hands.
No.
Because at the end of the day, he's going to be the guy. You know, you lose Payne, and you lose Crawford, you lose Bartlett. He's the one mainstay, and I'm sure they're discussing, do we want to run? Do we really want to see if Buck Showalter will? Yep,
runner goes. Ball in the air to center. Jones coming.
Oh,
Grabbed away. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Evan Longoria's on his way to third. He may have it inside the park home run. They're going to wave him home. Foley is sending him. Here's the relay throw to the plate to Tatum. Not in time. Evan Longoria an inside the park homer unless they find an error. And it's a 2 RBI shot.
Well, they didn't lay any leather on it, and you talked. Hoyt Wilhelm didn't have a knuckleball as good as this one. And I think initially Adams going, can I catch this ball? And you can see him come in right here, and then all of a sudden the ball goes the other way. It takes a left turn to him, a right turn, and right here is Zobrist. He's thinking if he catches it, I'm doubled up. I'm a dead Ray. I got to go back, and here comes Longoria. It's like the Belmont on a hot afternoon.
A muttered
mile and a half, right?
What a big hit. And it is now a 9-5 game for Longoria. It is an inside the park home run, his 5th homer of the year.
I don't know the last time I've seen one of those.
Nope, that's been
a while. Yeah.
18 RBIs now for Longoria.
That's one of those Kansas City when they used to have the AstroTurf, and you'd hit a double down the line and it would hug the corner and get by a left fielder, never touch it. I mean, you could. Evan doing a pretty good job of describing exactly what happened to that baseball. They knuckled away from Adam Jones.
Never got to look at it. You watch the curve. You couldn't see it there, but I mean, he had no chance. And then it rolls the other way. It had reverse roll on it coming off the wall. 1-2 delivery to Upton, foul back. That is the first inside the park shot for the Rays since Carl Crawford hit one in 2009. It is the 9th inside the park home run in Rays history. Longoria gets it, and the Rays have scored 4 very big runs, 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. Each time the Orioles have tried to come back into the game. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Upton.
Well, welcome. You look at the scoreboard to get a little information about the American League East. The Red Sox put 14 on. The Yankees 9. 9 here for the Rays. Of course, Toronto shell-shocked. They were 2-3 in runs scored. And of course, they just got out-pitched by the Red Sox, who are on such a roll now, won 9 in a row.
B.J. Upton, he's had an involved game. Single, RBI sac, reached on an error and scored. Orioles have surrendered 2 unearned runs in the game. Orioles have also picked up an unearned run. 2-2 delivery in the air to right field. Scott's going over and will not have a play. So Ricardo charged of surrendering the homer. Scott getting over there, where if you run into that thing and don't realize the tarp is there, you can bang your knee pretty good.
I think he got the whole leg, but he gets over there quickly. And then right there, you just run out of running room.
Two-ball, 2-strike count. Upton on a good pitch down and into him is gone. Ricardo gets the strikeout. 2 down.
A little frustrating because Jeremy comes in the 11th, gives up 3 hits, 2 runs last night. There's a good splitter. Bottom drops out of it. Well executed. And then today comes in and make a great pitch, but it looks like it's going to be out, and then it ends up going by Jones for an inside the Parker.
2 down now. Here's Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez, kind of a quiet big day. A double, single, stolen base, RBI, run scored.
And then how about the defense? Kept the ground ball by Markakis instead of an RBI single. It's an RBI out, ground outs. And when you get into late in the ball game, 7-3 lead, 7-4 lead, whatever, you're starting to count the outs. And he got one of them.
He made 2 good plays in that 7th inning. Markakis, the one you're talking about, Jim, and then the one on Jones, where he was able to get to it and get at him at first base the very next batter. They both got RBIs, but neither reached. 1-1. That is laced to left field. PA right at him, and he's got it. But a big inside the park home run by Evan Longoria, good for 2 RBIs, has increased the lead to 9-5. Every Orioles walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to the Living Classrooms Foundation. 189 walks, $9,450. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Russell worked an inning, gave up a hit. Now we go deeper.
Yeah, Ramos came on last night. I was surprised. We had seen him down in Tampa, and in fact, he threw a grand slam to made one bad pitch to J.J. Hardy. A grand slam down there, but he really threw the ball well. Adam Russell comes out of that San Diego in the trade for Jason Bartlett, so he comes from the Padres, and he was a starting pitcher in their minor leagues last year.
Well, Orioles had to battle back. There's Shane Kirby, Felix PA, Adam Jones talking about how that Longoria shot just turned on him.
It made a left turn.
And boy, when you were looking at it from the home plate camera, it's like someone taking a real good golf shot who wanted to go that way. Breaking ball will be taken away, Luke Scott.
Well, in hockey, they can make that puck move, can't they? I mean,
yes,
the way
they can.
got,
so real good ones can. Yeah. That ball was just hit so hard that.
Well, a knuckle. Oof. And that's, we always say one of the hardest plays for center field, the ball over your head, because you don't know if it's going right or left. That's another one right at you where it starts knuckling and you can't lay leather on it.
It's been a comeback game where the Orioles have never quite gotten there. 3 runs scored in the first by the Rays, 2 by the Orioles. Then it was 4-2, then it was 5-2, then 5-3. That ball's going to be fouled back. Orioles gave up a couple in the 7th, got them right back in the bottom half, and now in the 8th, 2 more have scored on the Longoria home run. Luke Scott with a single. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. Scott will be followed by Reynolds and then PA. Ramos with a 2-ball, 1-strike count. And the fastball will miss up high. The Orioles getting some base runners. They've had to do it via the hits. Only one walk in the game. Wade Davis, the starter, surrendered a free pass. That was in the 4th inning. That's it. Haven't been many strikeouts either. Only 3 struck out by Davis. Shift is on against Luke Scott. Here's the 3-1 delivery, and he lifts the ball to center. Upton taking a look. That is way back, and goodbye, home run. Luke Scott starts the charge anew. It's 9-6.
Well, you know, again, when you're healthy, you got a chance to really compete. And, you know, 2 years ago, he ends up hitting 10 home runs off left-handers out of his 27. And right here, I mean, he puts a charge on it. B.J. Upton just puts his head in center field and watches it sail. Off the bat, I think everybody knows it's gone. And it's way gone.
So the Orioles have a 3-homer day going. Jones, Guerrero, and now Scott, who gets his 8th and his 3rd off a left-hander. This is going to be the first at bat for Andino, who came on for Mark Reynolds, who left with a contusion on the left forearm on a hard ground ball that caught him. And Andino gets a left-hander. That's to his benefit if the numbers stay that way. Andino hitting .347 off lefties, and that will send Shopik out to the mound.
Yeah, a little different pitcher last night. He had good command. He had a good changeup, had a good hook. And again, the velocity that I didn't know was there. 91 to 93. With back-to-back nights, there is Juan Cruz, who came in, was very efficient last night. And the veteran right-hander, shoulder surgery for him last year.
2-0 count. Andino, he's going to take, and it is a strike.
The amazing thing, and I mean amazing, they had to replace Grant Balfour, Benoit, who's the best setup guy in the league, Randy Choate, left-handed specialer, Lance Cormier, Chad Qualls.
That one's towards the gap, left center field. That's going to fall in. And Andino is on. Oh, his first at bat successful. And in the 8th inning, the Orioles start another comeback. Voting is now open for the 11 All-Star game in Phoenix. Help send Adam Jones, Matt Wieters, the rest of your favorite Orioles to the All-Star game. You can vote up to 25 times at Orioles.com. Visit Orioles.com. Cast your ballot now for the 2011 All-Stars. Vote early and vote often. Only at Orioles.com. Felix PA. PA has an 0 for 3 going in the ball game. The Orioles now have 11 hits of their own. We've got 24 hits and 15 runs combined in this game. Andino looking right at the left-hander. Ramos delivers. PA takes it. That home run off the bullpen of Tampa Bay is only the 11th they have surrendered. They came into the game the second fewest home runs surrendered. The Orioles, of course, have given up the most, 34 by the pen. 35 now with the inside the park job. 1-0 delivery, and that's going to miss. 2-0.
A lot of hitters counts for the O's. So they had to replace all those guys, and then you can throw also Dan Wheeler, and then the guy that led the American League in saves last year, and Rafael Soriano, and Jim Hickey with his arms crossed, the pitching coach, just going, okay, it's not the way we drew it out.
On we go.
How about getting ahead?
2-0 delivery, PA, a ground ball towards second base. Rodriguez flips it and got the out.
Well, Brignac can play.
Held the bag somehow with that back foot.
He can play shortstop. And he saved the game for him last night. Right here, I'm not sure he's expecting it. You could see him actually start to slide to the inside of the bag, and then when he sees the throw, I think he just thinks you're going to take the easy out, 3-run lead, and then all of a sudden, there we go. So, and he shows the umpire the ball.
Joe Madden is out. That will be it for the left-hander. Ramos will come out of there, having worked just a third of an inning. He's given up a couple of hits and will be responsible for PA, who's on at first base. Coming to the plate, Ryan Adams. Seventh time for Juan Cruz.
Yeah, came in last night, ran that record to 4-0, so he's been very good for him. And again, released by Kansas City last year, veteran right-handed pitcher who's been around 6 teams he's played on, and last night showed us a really quality breaking ball, 91 to 92 mile per hour fastball with command and good movement. So he comes in, he knows what his job is. Orioles still trying to get a little bit closer.
It has been an uphill climb here. The Orioles still have time in the ball game. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. They just have not been able to hold down the Rays, who've been able to put up runs every time the Orioles have gotten close. Ryan Adams making the start at second base, has a single, a run scored. He's 1 for 3. Tatum will be waiting on deck. He will be facing Cruz for the first time. Runner on at first, 1 out.
And Tatum, if they get a guy on, will not be hitting. We will see Matt Wieters most likely.
$22,032 on hand. 22,032, and they have seen a real struggle here in this rubber match of the 3-game set. The delivery to Adams, and he'll take the first one, and it is in there for a strike from Cruz.
Yeah, another one of those just kind of hanging somethings. Most likely a slider.
Ryan was hitting 303 when he was playing at AAA. He got 39 games in with the Tides this year.
He can hit.
Yeah, he
He's
can
a good
hit.
hitter.
The concern the Orioles have is keeping him at the major league level and him not getting the at-bats he needs. He'll take the pitch outside. Yeah, Brian Roberts out for who knows how long. Maybe he plays more.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think again, he's gotten labeled as maybe not as good defensively, and obviously you want to help your pitching, so he can hit. There's never been a doubt about that. That's probably why they like to have him go back to AAA Norfolk and be in a situation where he can play every day and work for Mike Bordick, roving instructor, on his defense.
1-1 delivery. Looked like a slider. It stays up and in, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Ryan Adams. A lot of pitches thrown in this game. J.P. Howell, bullpen stays active. Left-hander getting ready.
Well, they all seemed to pitch last night. He came in perfect 7th inning, even though Ruggiano had to leap into the stands to keep a home run off the bat of J.J. Hardy.
2-ball, 1-strike count. PA's on at first base, 1 away. And a swing and a miss, and that'll even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, that's a pretty good ground ball pitch. Just looks like it's again a little slider, just a little bit off of it. That time he gets on top of it, he goes straight down.
You play every game, obviously, within its own context, but certainly not the kind of game Tampa Bay hoped they'd have today with the trip to Detroit for 1 game tomorrow coming up. And lots of folks being used out of the bullpen. 2-ball, 2-strike count. PA takes off. Ryan Adams away. Here's the throw and got him. Oh, what a big out that is. Shopping gets his 8th out of 16, and
well, I'll tell you,
eliminates it.
I don't know if you can make a much better throw right here, but Felix, he's not a great base stealer. Why are you looking right there? That's the difference between being out or not. And then look at this right here. Look at this rocket. Right on the money. If it's a straight steal, and maybe
got to be, doesn't it?
Maybe it was a run and hit. It just doesn't seem. Yeah.
Big out, big out. And manager doesn't look particularly happy.
Well, I can't even imagine why he was running. There's nothing to be gained. So he either got the sign wrong. I just can't imagine 3 runs down when you need another base runner that you would risk having somebody thrown out. And it's not like Kelly Shopping can't throw, because he can. As you mentioned, that's now 50%. And you can't make a more perfect throw.
3-ball, 2-strike count. And struck him out. So an inning that really takes the wind out there on those plays after Scott had started it out with a home run. It is a 9-6 Rays lead. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. So a couple of big plays in the inning, and the Orioles remain down 9-6 as we go to the ninth.
And Clay Rapado on to a pitch, last pitch against Oakland. So again, a inflated ERA, a little bit misleading. Left-handed specialist. 1 earned run in his last 10 games over 5 1/3 innings. And again, dominating lefties as he did last year in the AAA level. The left-handers 3 for 29. Right-handers a little bit different, 6 for 8.
And he will get the left-hander, Kochman, to start it out. Switch hitter. Brignac will be waiting on deck. Kochman with a 1 for 3 in the game, hitting at .344, and goes after the first pitch. Scott backing up. Out of the cover, and 1 pitch and 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. Day off tomorrow for the Orioles, and they head on up to Toronto for the 3-game set against a Toronto team that has been bombed out with the Red Sox. So the Orioles are going to catch a ball club that's either going to be really upset and wanting to win a game, or one that's really down and maybe can be had. Toronto's lost 4 in a row, including their loss today, and they are the team just a half a game ahead of the Orioles. Arrieta watching from the bench. Here's Reed Brignac. And Brignac will take it outside. Brignac getting a chance after coming on as a defensive replacement. Brignac hitting at just .173. Rapata's pitch to him is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, Batista, after going 14 games without a home run, he homered for the only run, so he's now got 21. Granderson had caught him. I don't know what he did today. Hit his 20th last night up in Yankee Stadium.
Speed pitch will be foul back.
With the two leading guys since I think August 14th last year in baseball. Batista with the most. Of course, he ended up hitting 54, and then Granderson right behind him.
Two of the least likely suspects 2 years ago put into that category. Granderson and Bautista. Reed Brignac 1-2 delivery to him, and that'll be off the fist. Any chance at a triple crown in the American League? Kind of going by the boards here. Gonzalez is up there leading the league in average and RBIs, but he's not on the home run list. Bautista is second in average and tied for first in home runs, but a bit behind in RBIs. He's ninth in the league and
walking
down
too
by
much.
about 20.
And last time I looked, he was getting on base almost 50% of the time.
Yeah,
well, that's why Rapata's here. I mean, this is a guy that if you're breathing and you're left-handed and you can get left-handers out, I mean, look at this breaking ball. Just a little wave right there. Again, kind of a two-part swing.
That'll bring Shopik up. Shopik hitting just 217 off lefties and only 95 off righties.
We got the big hit, you know, that two-run single in the 7th inning.
Orioles gave up a couple of unearned runs in that inning. The leadoff error. Reynolds was charged with 2 today before he had to go out of the game with that contusion on his glove hand. That opened the door, and with 2 down, Shopik delivered a 2 RBI base hit.
And 2 strikes too. Yeah, clutch hit.
Inside the park home run. Longoria got that one in the 8th inning. It's been I mean, we've had a lot of everything in this ball game. 4 stolen bases, 4 out of 6 for Tampa Bay.
I still like that first inning for the Rays. 4 hits, 4 stolen bases, a home run, an error, and a base on balls. Just a little bit of everything.
Went through the lineup. And then the Orioles responded with those back-to-back homers and cut it right back to a 3-2 game, but they've never had the lead. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and there goes the bat. Heads up. And fortunately hit an empty seat.
Well, not only is it hat night or afternoon, it's bat afternoon right here.
That's Olympic form right there.
The bat throw.
Our Dodge Ram X-Well brought to you by Ram Trucks, tested and proven to be the best trucks we've ever built. Ram.
I wouldn't give it to him. Gonna let him get another 2-run single with the same bat? I don't think so.
Fans got the bat.
Well, they're escorting him out now. I don't mean they're. Maybe that he's going to sign it. Who knows?
Who knows?
Otherwise, there's a lesson to be learned here. Must be a ritual here. You know, something where you go down and you meet Kelly Shaw. I don't know.
I don't know. I hope he's not being escorted out.
No, I can't imagine that'd be the case.
Here's the 2-2, and that's going to be a base hit. No, the new bat worked. Shopik's got a 2-hit ball game.
Well, I think
times on.
What it is, again, now 7-4-9 right-handed batter. So Clay, again, you know, not quite as deceptive, sharply hit in the hole. Seems like J.J. Hardy's done that about 6 times. Dive into his right as balls would get into left.
So Johnny Damon will come up. 258 hitter off left-handers, a leadoff homer today, 2 RBIs. He's picked up another base hit and a walk. And the pitch will be taken away for a ball.
Well, you know, he led off the game with a home run, as you know, but again, Brian Mattisey got quickly ahead of him and just threw him maybe a slider or something that just stayed on the inside middle, and that's when he hit the home run.
He'll take that one in the air to left field. PA. He's got it, and that will do it in the 9th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. The Orioles 3 outs to work with. The bottom of the 9th coming. Tatum, Hardy, and Marquez.
Coming up, and Rick, this has been far from a fundamentally sound game for the Orioles. They come to bat in the bottom of the ninth, down by 3.
I think it's the Bermuda Triangle out there in the outfield. So many strange things have been happening. The Orioles have been knocking on the door. They've been down most of the day. They keep getting close. They keep coming back. They still got a chance. 3 runs could tie this game.
So bottom of the ninth coming up. Let's see how it turns out. Back to the booth we go, and Gary and Jim.
All right, Jim, Rick, exactly right. This has been a strange game right from the get-go with a little bit of everything going on. There are thunderstorms in the area. Nicole Sherry's out there talking to the crew chief, Tim Welke, as letting him know she's been right on in this homestand regarding storms. Friday night, they put the tarp out before it started to rain, delayed the game, and sure enough, at game time, it came down.
They were waiting for the on-field ceremonies, and the minute they concluded, on it came, an hour and 8 minutes. So Juan Cruz, trying to look, he did get 2 saves back in 2009, but he comes on. This is a save situation, I believe. 3-run lead, 9-6. Maybe not as sharp as he, there's Matt Wieters getting ready to hit. Not as sharp as he was last night, but he did get out of the 8th inning.
So Wieters will try and lead it off here and get the Orioles' potential tying run to the plate at least. Tatum had a 1-for-3 ball game, a single, and he scored. Both he and Adams in the 8 and 9 spot contributed with singles in the 7th inning, and both came across. And Wieters will try and do it here against Cruz. Tampa Bay will keep the bullpen active. Matt hitting at 275, and he will take the pitch away for a ball. One of the problems in this homestand for the Orioles has been the ability or inability to get walks across. Today they didn't even have that chance, at least not yet. There's only been 1 walk in the ball game by the starter Wade Davis, who's got a chance to be the winner. Brian Mattis lasted only an inning and a third, 4 runs and 4 hits with 4 walks. Simone came on 4 2/3, 3 runs on 5 hits. Gonzalez a run on 2 hits, an inning and a third. Ricardo a run on a hit and 2/3 of an inning.
And meanwhile, Oriole pitchers walking 6. 4 of them by Brian Mattis, which is very un-Brian Mattis-like. And then again, they 15 hits last night in 11 innings for the Rays this year, or this afternoon.
A quick look, only 1 of those 6 walks is scored in the game for Tampa Bay. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Wieters. Matt will lift it to right field near the scoreboard. That's going to be halfway up. He's going to try for 2. Zobrist will hold him. Matt made the big turn, but he had the play in front of him and wisely goes back to first base with a long single.
Yeah, a little change or some kind of breaking ball, and he's all over it. You can see the target. It just comes in somewhat in the middle of the plate and it speeds up the bat a little bit. He's thinking double, but knocked down by 3 runs.
And he will knock Cruz out of the ball game. And now to the closer they go, as Joe Maddon will make his way out. Howell's going to come in.
Well, he used to close.
He is a closer now because Farnsworth's not available for the day, they hope. Upton just drops his glove in center field. Like, oh, man. after the save.
Yeah, well, he got 17 in 2009. Next year, early 2010, had a labrum problem, so he did have shoulder surgery. We saw him last night.
Orioles trying to get back in the bottom of the ninth. There is J.J. Hardy, and he will take the pitch for a strike. Wieters is on with a single at first.
And getting very dark here.
Very, very dark.
Well, he's got a big curveball. He's got a good changeup. Hardy hit the changeup into the suits, except Ruggiano leaped and brought it back last night. And there's the hook, and it hangs. So again, until the last two appearances, he's down has 6, because it took him all year to come back from that, and all spring to come back from that shoulder surgery. He had given up runs in all his appearances.
He came back May 20 from the DL, first appearance in the majors since 09. One save opportunity, and he blew it. Trying to find his rhythm again. Hardy will take it inside. He has been hit real hard with the limited at bats. Granted, lefty's the 4 for 9, right hand is 4 for 13. And he's really just trying to find his way again. The wind is going to pick up here with the thunderstorm right above us, and we'll be swirling here in the ballpark. A fitting tribute to this game. Just been about as wild as the weather. And Hardy will foul that one off outside of third base.
Well, this game far from over. They need 3 outs. Anybody that's ever played this game, it's regulation. Yeah, 27 outs.
Home plate umpire trying to move him along as the rain starts.
Well, the rain, the wind,
it's blowing. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Hardy goes after it, hits it in the air to left field. Ruggiano will drift in under, that wind blowing in hard from left. 1 down. Updating you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. That's what it looks like right now. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 51862. Results on the O's Extra post-game show. Nick Markakis now, and you see how that wind is picked up. Markakis is single. RBIs 1 for 4, and you got to really concentrate here. You do not want to give this ball game up because of the weather. Howe with a 1-strike count. Runner at first base is Wieters. Here's the 0-1. That's up the middle right to Brignac. There's 1 and there's 2. And this ball game is over. And Tampa Bay comes away with a 9-6 win. They take 2 out of 3 in the series. As the Orioles, despite all those hits, just could not get back into it. Orioles a day off tomorrow. Then they head north. Blue Jays will be the opponent. Chris Jacobowskis will be on the mound against Carlos Villanueva. Our coverage begins at 6:30 on MASN 2 HD with O's Extra, presented by Verizon 4G LTE. Our game will be at 7. For Jim Palmer and all of our great crew here at Camden Yards, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks, everybody. The Rays won it by a score of 9-6. This has been a MASN presentation. Jim and Rick, O's Extra, next. Adieu.